EN number 2083768.
Looking for that unique gift or hard-to-find collectible? Look no further than Nicholas Smith Trains and Toys. Nicholas Smith has over 60,000 items for you to shop at both nicholassmithtrains.com and nicholassmithtoys.com. But come into the store on Westchester Pike Broomall and get lost in old and new technology. Pretend play, RC and slot cars, Western play, Madame Alexander dolls, mechanical robots, superhero action figures, Playmobil, Lego, Disney, and much, much more. Right off the Blue Route, visit Nicholas Smith Trains and Toys this holiday or any day.
Big news, Cherry Hill. The Hester Chevrolet family is expanding with our new location, Hester Chevy of Cherry Hill, formerly Mall Chevrolet. For over 40 years, the Hester Automotive family has been part of the Cherry Hill community. With over 600 vehicles available, Hester Chevy of Cherry Hill now offers one of the largest inventories of Chevy vehicles in the tri-state area. See why 2 Hester Chevy locations are even better than 1. Come visit Hester Chevy at the mall or always online at HesterChevyCH.com.
Your way or no way at Hester Chevrolet.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. Welcome in at 12:30. We're going to talk with State Senator Bramnick, who's a powerhouse in the Republican Party, running for governor, who's calling for limited time all drone traffic over New Jersey to be shut down. We have Congressman Chris Smith we're trying to speak with, who is a Republican, conservative, pro-life, but not wild-eyed. He's saying, why can't we shoot one of them down? Exactly. And then see who's doing this. And you have these people in Jersey, these representatives at a meeting, and Phil Murphy, who knows what's going on, allegedly, is a no-show. This is one of the worst examples. I don't care if it's the U.S. military practicing something. How many times have we been through this before when they've done stuff like this? If that's the case, you don't practice it in this manner. You just don't. Look at what you're causing here. Apparently, the best guess is coming off the Atlantic Ocean. Now, Jeff Van Drew will be here at 2:30 today. Just saw him on Fox again talking about this, and it's starting to piece out. There's all kinds of theories about what this could be. Could it be the U.S. military? Okay, well, then this should not go on. It should stop. We ought to get to the bottom of it. If it's the Chinese, or it's believed to be, they ought to be shot down. If it's a prank, they ought to be shot down. I don't think people just want answers. I think they want action on this. That's where we are. Is that too rash? So we'll talk about it as we go through the afternoon. But again, if this were the Trump administration, I think we'd be getting more answers. Spreading now to the Philly suburbs, where the at least reports the Inquirer has that today. And again, this is troubling. People don't want to hear, well, you don't deserve to know this, or, well, no one's fired on you yet, or it's not aliens or anything else. This has been quite a while at some level, at least a week, at a high level of kind of spreading out with this stuff. And I did read in a couple of places a guesstimate, well, they're trying to do something to pick up cell phones apparently. Now, that's right. We've already been through this before, and I'm adamant, these stinking red light cameras, wanting to put them all up and down on Broad Street. What we need is people that are driving without insurance, driving wildly, suspended license, and all the rest of it, stop them. Let the rest of us alone. We've been through this with cameras all over the... Wow, you don't have anything to worry about. No, there's a mania. We don't want a society where we're under camera, we're under observation all the time. That's not the point. The problem we have with criminals is we're not enforcing the law. We have too many progressive DAs. We see the semblance of something bad. We don't do anything about it. Then they do the worst, like this maniac who allegedly shot the U.S. healthcare guy.
I'll play devil's advocate, though, here.
Go ahead.
We often say, though, like when we talk about these dirt bikes, ATVs, why the heck don't the police just get a drone in the sky and follow them to their location and, follow these ATVs, dirt bikes to source and seize them, And this would be that type of drone, I would assume, that they'd be following them with.
Because they already know. I mean, what the hell are they doing, Dan, would be my response. A, I don't buy into they can't stop them. If I'm the police chief and they come roaring through town 300 or 400, it's not just about arresting them. It's about sending a message to them, not on our watch. We're going to stop you right here. Whatever we have to do, you're going down. You're going to be off that bike. Dan, if they don't know where they mass and how this works, they shouldn't be cops. They really should.
But we've heard often that they'll try to, set chase on car, and then these bikes will go through alleys, or they'll use ramps to jump into backyards to escape.
Oh, you get some of them, and throw the book at them. You have to have a judge dedicated to. They have, most of them have violated all kinds of laws up and down. They're on probation, whatever. Take them right out of there, back to jail. They have helicopters. The police already have helicopters. The helicopter can keep them within sight. So I think the drones are...
I think the argument against the helicopter would be, I don't know for sure, but what's the cost benefit of, unmanned drone versus full-on staffed helicopter?
The bottom line, though, is these are the people breaking the law, and there is direct act. In other words, I'm saying that if you have to prove to me you've taken all these direct actions and that's not enough, then you get a waiver. It has to be very limited to do this. This is an excuse to make it expansive. We're just going to rely on drones. Then what are you going to do? And the problem comes back to Krasner again. You have to arrest them. Then you have to have a DA that's going to sentence them. So you can get all the drones you want if you don't take them off the street.
Me and Maisie sat and just theorized for like 20 minutes.
Right.
Another good one she came up with, Dom, is, we talk about this deportation policy. Is this potentially help for the Trump administration and the deportation policy to track down illegal immigrants?
Well, Biden wouldn't be doing that. He wouldn't be allowing it. And we're not there yet with Trump, so I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, and in Jersey, of all places.
So if we push it aside, Dom Giordano's best guess, do you want to make any pontification or no?
I think it is somehow another military-related wackos who are training in areas and say that's where we have to train.
You don't think it's a adversarial government?
No, I don't think it's the Chinese. If it were the Chinese this time, and they have any sense of that, which they would, and they haven't shot it down, then we're talking impeachment again. We really are.
I think it's the Chinese. 100% is where I'm at.
Okay, well, they're willing to go to that level. They would have knowledgeability that it's a foreign government. And if they are not willing to go after
you look at the technology that's involved here. I don't think Russia can do it. I don't
Right.
think Iran, North Korea's not doing something like this. It seems if we're talking technology, China would be the ones capable of something like this. And I just wonder if the strategy is, look, we're going to overload them, get all the kind of scanning we can get, find out their critical infrastructure, and they're not going to know how the hell to respond. They're going to spend 3-4 weeks covering it up. We're going to get all the intel we need, and by the time they figure out what they're going to do about this, we've already done the work we need to do, and we're out of here.
I would think that'd be more apparent. I think you would see some Republicans speaking out and saying, this is the Chinese, that's the sense they have of it. Well, the first thing to do is, rather than invite them, okay, the people that are involved, FBI, who all the agencies involved, they have to be dragged into Congress. Phil Murphy, the same. We have to get to a point where you're not going to send them a letter and maybe a week later they're going to do something. You have to order them. And the way to do that is, like this Bramnick guy, you have to say this is such a matter, extraordinary timeliness is needed. Bring them in. They won't come in, then you send people to get them. All right? It's too much foot dragging here. You may be right. Maybe the Chinese in the end, which is the worst of all. All right, so we have that going on. We'll talk with Van Drew and we'll talk with the state senator, Bramnick. Caitlin Clark in the news. Now, Time Magazine names her the athlete of the year. I didn't go through every athletic performance and all the rest of it, but I think you could make an argument on an impact basis of Caitlin Clark taking something that only really aficionados of basketball, like Luke and I'm not sure about Henry, WNBA, that we watch, because it's still basketball, even though it's inferior by a lot. And we've defended Caitlin Clark. The reason why there's such a degree around her of bringing people to this sport, it's not just her race. It's the fact that how she plays. When you're shooting a ball from the logo, the way she passes, and the acclaim she had carrying over from college, and then there were several other players, you're going to see the league get juiced by this. Here's the thing, though. Caitlin Clark, then, and this is just, okay, you have sound of it. Thank you. We'll get to that. We have a video of it. You can see this at youtube.com/1210 WPHT. Like and subscribe. We'll play that in a minute. I'll just give you what she said, though. That's the key thing here. And this is a very buttoned up, sad practice. Caitlin Clark's quote in Time is, "I want to say I've earned every single thing." Now, that means when you put a but there, she's not saying she earned every single thing. She wants to say that, is the way I read this, but that's not fully true. I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there's privilege. Here we go again. Now, I don't see Caitlin Clark as someone who is agenda-driven per se. But you know what? Shut up already. Really, I just said, Megyn Kelly's right. Shut the hell up. This is just ridiculous. So all this defense of her, all this ways that we looked at it, Caitlin Clark now has to go into this rope-a-dope to say, I want to say it's about me. Now, how in the world are we ever going to judge how much race is part of anything? That's true. We don't have any race Geiger counter. But on the basis of what we've said when this started, is there are, and smart basketball people have said what I've said, there are certain distinguishable things that Caitlin Clark has done versus some of the women that are complaining about her, that they're very good in the women's game, but there's nothing there that's transcends what we've seen. I'd have to think of who in the NBA came in and you went, wow, this is different.
Steph Curry.
Yeah, Steph Curry.
That's what I compare her to right now.
Yeah, the length that he shoots and his shooting ability. It's a length, too, that is just, you can't believe somebody's doing that and effectively shooting the ball in a natural motion, not kind of like really having to do something unnatural to shoot from 35 feet. Yeah, I was going to say, when Wilt came into the league, they made 29 rule changes within a year. You know, a different thing, but that's transcending what the current game was. And you're right, Steph Curry transcends it. It's noticeable. It's not like anybody else shooting the ball probably ever that I can think of. And that was one thing. Then she passes the ball really well on top of it. And there's excitement toward the league, but that's not good enough. And then she buys into this. And I read it. I first read it. I thought she meant, I want to say I've earned every single thing. But as a white person, there's privilege. I thought she was saying she earned everything, but still as a white person, there's, now I'm reading it. I want to say that, but as a white person, there's privilege. When are we going to get past this? That's the beef here. When are we going to get past the idea of saying that no matter what, that's what it comes down to? there are other ways of talking about this. There are other ways, hopefully the way that I said it. Are some people looking at her? She's a great white hope. Okay, there are some. But are there people that sincerely love basketball looking at this? And again, these women in this league, which is kept, it's like a welfare state by the NBA. It gives them $15 million or more a year. Now they have something to be proud of. The whole league, other players too, are being recognized that are black, that are rookies, and some of the all-time stars. And the league's on fire. Some games are selling out. Again, how in the world? Now, do I think Caitlin Clark believes this? Yeah, I don't think she's just making it up. But it's a very press release-driven type of statement, I think. In addition, that's what she may believe. Or maybe she doesn't want to go through anymore of people attacking her, and they did attack her in the W. Some of those fouls were ridiculous.
Yeah, that's where I'd be leaning more towards.
Yeah.
She's just, she wins another award. She's like, all right, this is a bit of overkill. Let me, try and give it back to the people here. And she's just trying to curry some good favors so she doesn't get clocked next summer.
Well, you know what? But what she's doing is she's giving in to this notion that I can't abide by. So she wants to protect herself. Knock yourself out, honey. But going down this path, this type of thing, if it doesn't stop, meaning then essentially that all white people have that edge no matter what. That's exactly what we're hearing here. So I get it. She wants to play ball here because of what happened here. This is not the way to do it. She could be gracious, thank everybody, name some of the players who are great players, say how the league's come along. That would be great. That's fine. That's being generous. All right, phone lines. You can get in on that. Side question today. I didn't even know what these were yesterday until Henry kind of said to me, well, they're kind of like SpaghettiOs, right?
Yeah.
It's National Noodle Rings Day.
Correct.
Which is a weird day. So we're looking for this. I guess this came off Chef Boyardee. We are looking for a food or a place that might be associated with food.
I'll take a person, too.
Yeah, okay, person, too.
Song, movie.
Yeah, all right, that you think is not as bad as people say. So I stuck with the original thing, and I have Olive Garden, of course, and Brussels sprouts. I could go for a Brussels sprout lunch there.
Oh, they're so over. Maisie makes these Brussels sprouts with balsamic on them and bacon, and it makes her house smell for days. And I try to convince her not to do it, and she does it behind my back. It's become like the only thing that we gripe over are these dang Brussels sprouts. Why do you bring this to the...
You roast them a little bit and put a little seasoning there.
Yeah.
They're delectable.
No.
Yeah, they're
no,
not.
They stink.
Now,
they do stink. They are
well,
good.
there is a stink part, yeah. But broccoli, I get, not exactly. It's okay. But the Brussels sprout row, if you're listening, make a bunch tonight. Henry, what's yours?
Yeah, so I'm going to take a food off the board. I'm
Yes.
going to go with the traditional Pennsylvania Dutch food of scrapple.
Oh, God.
People hate scrapple. I love it. That's my favorite breakfast food in the whole wide world. And people always ask, how could you eat that? Do you even know what's in it? No, I don't. And frankly, I don't care. It tastes great. Do you know where they cut bacon from? Where is the pork roll coming from on the pig? Can you answer me those questions? No? All right, then don't rip on scrapple. It's
but you think scrapple in this area? See, I think it's overrated.
Oh, really?
Not underrated.
Oh,
Yeah.
I feel like every time I bring up scrapple, everyone's like, ew, gross, disgusting.
Well, you're among connoisseurs because the average person, the scrapple in this area. Okay. I'm the enemy of scrapple. That's why I said that.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, exactly. Jan, what's yours?
Well, behind us, you hear one of them. That's Maisie's, one of her favorite artists. How about Taylor Swift? Gets a lot of hate, but she's quite a good songwriter, I got to say. And her music it's not like turn-off material. You hear it on the radio, you instantly turn it off, for me at least. But I'll also throw out the Fox body Ford Mustang. Gets a lot of hate. Remember in 1979, Mustang switched from a very sporty look to more of like a hatchback almost kind of look. And it got trashed. It went for like 13, 14 years. There were some kind of cult followers. But now, Dom, it's back in style, that style. And Hyundai's even working on a car that almost looks similar to a Fox body Mustang. And I think it gets a lot of hate that it doesn't deserve, that being the third generation of the Ford Mustang.
Wow, this is very specific today. All right, You got to get in on this. And Dan, we have a winner. We'll announce this next. Who won the Caller of the Year Match 2 yesterday, and who's up now that you'll be able to vote on. We have these have been slaughters, these first two matches. Sometimes in the early rounds, I was hoping a close upset or something close, but the chalk has won easily here. We'll see when we get into the higher
Today
rounds.
we got a really tough matchup, and I saved this one for last because I think this is probably the most contentious first-round matchup that we're going to have.
Exactly. All right, we'll get those coming to you next, and the phone lines are 855-839-1210. Why won't Phil Murphy, Mr. Lip Balm, why won't he meet with the representatives in New Jersey and tell them what he knows about these drones? 855, he said, we don't have any answers. It's frustrating. 855-839-1210.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. I can't recommend enough my friend and dentist, Dr. Mike Veneria at Veneria Dental. But I also want to share a little secret with you. You know, we're in the final stretch of 2024. Did you know you could possibly have dental insurance benefits expiring soon? Come January, most benefits reset. So if you've been putting off getting that dental procedure done, now is the time to schedule your appointment and use any remaining benefits for 2024. Dr. Mike's office will help you work through all of it, so just give them a call. Dr. Mike Veneria is the master of implant dentistry. His level of care and commitment to dental excellence is unmatched. And if you're nervous to go to the dentist, don't be. Dr. Mike and his staff makes your dental experience simple. He's been named a top dentist in New Jersey for 10 consecutive years. He's respected among his peers as being a master of dental implants. And yes, he's my family dentist. So stop putting off seeing a dentist or getting that complex dental procedure done, and don't waste those benefits. Taking care of your teeth is so important to your overall health. So call his office at 856-786-2020 or veneriadental.com. That's VANARIA, veneriadental.com.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. When sending a package, why venture outside? Ship with USPS for a true holiday ride. Want to stay cozy and warm? There's no need to roam. With free package pickup and labels printed from home. We have over 600,000 employees always in motion. And before you know it, your gift has delivered emotion. Spread the holiday joy this season with USPS's Enhanced Network. Learn more at USPS.com/holidayride.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, Riverton. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
All right, it is Dom time. I just saw Jeff Van Drew on Fox. He's here at 2:30 today. Somehow or another, he says, now, is it technology this easy that Iran could be involved in this? I mean, we think China, they have the capability, but Iran does? If they are, okay, first of all, we take out the drones, we learn what we can, and then we take action against Iran. All right, and that's what the Trump administration would do. We're not near that day yet, but that'd be one of the first acts if it is Iran. Could Iran really have that capability? But this is what is unacceptable to the American people. A guy like Murphy, the Biden administration, some of the military involved in this, this is not beyond the capability of knowing who this is, of shooting down some of these drones, if we need to have more knowledge of where this is coming from. they just don't want to talk about this for whatever reason. And again, if it is Chinese, there got to be people taken out that were in the chain of this. They cannot protect us if they can't deal with this in a transparent manner. I mean, it's a pretty simple thing that we're seeing here. So we have Senator Bramnick coming on. He's candidate for governor on the Republican side at 12:30. He's calling to stop all drone flights over Jersey. And again, we're going to see more of this stuff with Walmart and everybody else in the world delivering cockamamie by drones now. And I don't know, I'm not a fan of more regulation, but every time this holiday season, I see an Amazon truck refusing to pull into a parking spot because they're under orders. You don't pull into parking. You just block the street for the rest of the world. You've seen it. I've seen it. I would just say massive ticketing. This stuff has to stop. And with the drones,
so infuriating.
Oh, it is. And we're always here in Philadelphia. I shovel out my spot, but man, somebody's going to shoot somebody if I say that's my spot. But we don't hear the same police department talking about Amazon. Hey, Philadelphia Police Department, suburban police departments, ticket them. There are parking spaces. They're not going to park in them. Now, I don't know if that's in writing that you could trace it back to them. I think the public would be on board and say, good job. Good job that you got something done here. Who are they? But I'm talking about the use of drones to be delivering stuff. Come on. Is that apparent? We have to get our toothbrushes by drone. So we're entering an era. Some of this will be an annoyance, AI, drones. Some of it is potentially a major thing. Could you shoot it down? No, you can't. I have a story from Florida where a guy got tired of this Walmart drone that I guess was off course and just going around his house, and he shot it. And they sent him to jail for a while, at least overnight. Fined him $10,000. You can't shoot down a Walmart drone. But Phil Murphy, in Jersey, once again, where's some more of the media on this pressing them that he should meet with these senators and representatives and tell them what he knows and what's going on? Doesn't want to do that. Is a no-show. All right, let's go to Gary in Newtown. Gary's on Talk Radio 1210. Hi, Gary.
Hey, Dom. How are you?
Very well.
I was set off. I called real early on because I want to differentiate myself or not argue on one thing.
Yes.
I'm with you on almost all surveillance, but I live in Newtown. My daughter lives in Bryn Mawr. We have two ways to get there, I-95 or Route 1. I-95 for us to get there or to the airport is like taking your life in your hands every single time because of the way people drive. However, in the last 5 years, with all the cameras on the boulevard, which we had, I think, out of the top 10 intersections in the country, at one point we had 3 of the top 10 worst intersections, and they were all on the boulevard. The cameras are doing exactly what they were designed to do. People actually drive civil, and that's in Philly. It's unbelievable.
Well, I differ with you because, I avoid that area because it's a Bermuda Triangle to me, Gary. And we've all had the experience, maybe you too, where you're coming up on a light and you're making the decision, someone's bearing down behind you or it's bad weather or whatever, and you're going to get a $100 ticket. I counter that this is not the solution. Things would calm down if there were more police and if they actually stuck what the law is of people that are continuously driving recklessly and violating it.
I'm with you 100%. I think I was on air before. In addition to doing more police there and ticketing people and taking the cars away if they have multiple tickets,
right?
Please get rid of the tint where you can't even see in the driver window, let alone the rest of the freaking car.
Okay, yeah. The tint, it's illegal. Every time I see it, I bother rower. I know it's illegal, and I've had guys on. Stop it. Sherelle Parker said she would. Gary, you've advanced into the next round of the tournament.
Yeah, baby.
Congrats, Gary in Newtown. Yes, congrats.
Thank you.
Have beaten Allen and Yardley. Allen, what's the phrase
Sorry,
after
Allen?
Not a guy.
Not a guy.
Not a guy.
Alan, not a guy in Yardley. Gary Newtown advances. But Gary, next up, you got a friend of yours. You got to meet him recently, Robert in Ben Salem. Any trash talk you want to levy his way, Gary?
Is that who he
matchup?
plays next?
That's who he plays next.
Oh man, this is it. Woo!
I'm not gonna go trash talk because I love Robert from Ben Salem.
All this love in this.
Wait
a minute, guys. After yesterday, Dan, I would be violating the rules. She's only called in once, but Carmen from South Jersey yesterday. If I get one more email from these guys, can't Carmen call every day? Should be in there.
I'm with them, Carmen, every day.
God.
He was awesome.
Oh God, yes.
But I will say this. Last year I lost to Leslie of Bryn Mawr, and I got to meet her. What a wonderful lady. And by the way, I'm going to hopefully help her. She actually purchased 10 pizzas for the people that were in line the last day of in-line voting or in-person voting here in Bucks County.
Unbelievable. She does that. I mean, when she bought us the lies for mulligans, flown in from Hawaii or something. Oh, my God.
And in that, I can't. Now that I'm up against Robert from Ben Salem, I did pay the tip, and then I had them delivered. So I guess some credit.
Making a good case there, Gary.
Well, Robert of Ben Salem delivered them and got the big tip, so that's smarter. All right, Gary, what is something that gets a bad name but is very good?
I'm going to go with Buffalo Wings. Buffalo gets the bad name because it's in the middle of snow country. But the wings actually counterbalance it because they're all over the country now.
It's an interesting take on a side question. But...
Very nice. Thank you, Gary. Congratulations that you're advancing and about ready to meet, a big, big matchup here. Gear up for this. He's out there training.
So, Dom, if you'd like to partake in our Caller of the Year tournament and make your vote at Dom Show 1210, and we have a couple other results that happened. Well, we had Joe of Columbus over, when we went off air, we put up Joe of Columbus versus Tom in Marlton, taking out Tom in Marlton, Dom. So Joe in Columbus does advance to the next round. He'll face off against the aforementioned Leslie in Bryn Mawr, who got a first round bye for her performance last year. And Dom, you just put it up now. Drew in Upper Darby versus Bruce in the Northeast is the final matchup. You know that very recognizable voice of Bruce, the rasp, and Drew of Upper Darby, who's blasted to become one of Dom's personal favorites because of the great trivia he brings to the show, huh, Dom?
Absolutely. He's got a distinguishing voice, too. Yes, very much.
So they are facing off at Dom Show 1210. Please go cast your vote now, and we'll have the first round wrapped by the end of the show today, and we'll advance on to the next round tomorrow.
Senator Bramnick is next here, candidate for governor, and the guy's saying, shut down all drone traffic then, Governor, over the state. Why not? You won't do anything else. How about shooting them down, every one of them? Oh, my God. Chaos here on Talk Radio 1210.
Weather sponsored by Turn 7.
A strong storm system will bring periods of rain heavy at times through the day today. It'll be windy and warm with a high 65. For tonight, rain comes to an end during the evening, windy and turning colder with a low 35, and a mixture of sun and clouds on Thursday, windy and chilly with a high near 40.
Store closing. Turn 7 liquidations must liquidate and vacate immediately. Now through Christmas, 7-foot lit trees, values to $500, $20. Disney, Barbie, Crazy Toy, and gift blowouts, 3 for $5. Hurry, Turn 7. Philadelphia Mills, Turn 7 liquidations.
Dawn Stensland here. You may have heard I've fallen in love again with Italia. Now I know why Italy is the most revisited country in the world. Join me next spring on the Italian Riviera. Lorenzo and Romina, yes, will be back with us once again. Conservative Tours has crafted an itinerary that is sure to enchant us. Tuscany, the Riviera, the Northern Italian Lakes region, Cinque Terre, and dining events you'll write home about. $53.78. Yes, that includes your airfare. He's Michelangelo's Florence and the fashion capital of Milan. Call toll-free 888-733-9494 or go to conservativetours.com. Luxury hotels, a Mercedes coach, and a tour leader who is absolutely the best. That is Conservative Tours in Italy. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Charming Siena, home to Il Palio, the medieval Manhattan, San Gimignano, Modena, Lake Como, Vernazza. Join me next spring in Italy. I'll see you in Portofino.
If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, write this number down or put it into your phone. 800-411-2215. The IRS is hiring more staff and cracking down. Call Tax Relief Helpers now to learn about our tax debt reduction programs and how to stop the collection efforts. If you're facing liens, levies, an audit, wage garnishment, or years of unpaid taxes, even if you're already in a payment plan, we can help. Through special IRS programs, you may qualify to have your tax debt settled for a fraction of what you owe. Tax Relief Helpers has helped thousands of taxpayers qualify for these generous relief programs, earning an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. No matter what amount you or your business owe to the IRS, call our Tax Relief Hotline now for a free consultation and see what savings you may qualify for. Don't tackle the IRS on your own, and don't risk having your wages, Social Security, even your pension seized. Call now. Call 800-411-2215. That's 800-411-2215. 800-411-2215.
The good and bad with home improvement projects. The good, you save a buck or two. The bad,
Kevin, there's no hot water.
so you move on to the car.
Kevin, what's with the car?
Good news, you can recover from these.
Kevin!
Well, most all of them. But when it comes to your retirement, a mistake can be devastating. Call Joe Yakovich at JML Financial Group. He's been helping folks prepare for retirement for over 30 years. That's why he's able to correct your do-it-yourself problems before they're problems. Get your complimentary assessment of where you are now and look at some of the retirement boxes you haven't even thought of.
Kevin!
You can't YouTube your retirement. Call Joe Yakovich at 856-925-6674 or visit jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
See Joe Conklin's comedy show at St. Albert the Great Church on Welsh Road in Huntington Valley, Saturday, January 11th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. This drone story by the minute gets more and more intense. Joining us is someone who's running for governor on the Republican side. State Senator John Bramnick joins us here on Talk Radio 1210. Senator, welcome back to Philadelphia. Thank you for joining us.
I appreciate it. My dad was born in Philadelphia, so I'm half Philadelphian.
Where in Philadelphia?
South Philly.
Oh, that's even better. I didn't know that. I know a good bit about you, but I didn't know that. Was it Community Hospital?
I don't know. He never told me that, and he moved to Plainfield, New Jersey when he was 16.
Okay.
So, and I never went. He never took me to where he grew up.
Oh, well, that was a big loss. I'm from South Philly too. So,
but he did say when he moved in the neighborhood, there were a bunch of boys outside. He had to wrestle all of them to see how tough he was the first day he moved in.
that sounds about right. Now, you've called, Senator, for something that seems rational to me. Who would be able to do this, the governor or the legislature? A limited state of emergency banning all drones.
It would be a combination. First, the governor would do it, and the FAA would have to agree, because there's a combination here of power from the FAA, the federal government, and the state. But I think it would be a good start if Governor Murphy issued that limited state of emergency because I just came out of a meeting. When I tell you the state of New Jersey knows nothing about where these drones are from, where they came from, what they're doing here, they have no information.
But Murphy didn't attend the meeting.
He did not.
Do you think he knows something and he just feels it's better to be secretive on this?
I don't. I think the bottom line is when you're dealing with airspace, the states don't really have the resources to know. Mm-hmm. It takes actually, and Homeland Security was there. Homeland Security doesn't even know. Only the Department of Defense has the technology to figure this out. And I raised that issue at the meeting. You got to have Department of Defense. There's nobody can follow these drones, figure out what the drones are doing, unless you have that kind of significant technology. You know, the kind of technology they're using both in the Middle East and in Ukraine.
Well, Congressman Chris Smith, who I've always found to be, pretty level-headed, he says, and I'm in agreement with him, and I wanted to ask you, Why not shoot one of them down so that we have more information and figure out where it's coming from?
He may not be wrong about that, but my understanding is only the federal government has the authority to fire upon a drone in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, once again, that's why I keep talking about the Department of Defense. Now, I'm assuming that if it attacked a state helicopter, you probably could defend yourself. But my understanding is it's very technical as to what you can shoot out of the sky, and most of it is controlled by the federal government.
I would agree from what I've been able to read. So there does not seem to be, though, what's your course of action here? There's no urgency to tell the public from the feds what this is. So I would ask you, based upon your inside this a bit, some people think, here we go again with the Chinese. Van Drew on Fox today said it could even be Iran, which seems crazy. There were military bases. There's the Bedminster for Trump there. So it makes you wonder about something like that.
Well, it's tough for me to speculate as to the source, but it's very simple to say every one of our congressional representatives and every member of the legislature and the governor must call on the Department of Defense to make this the highest possible priority, come into New Jersey and figure it out. That has to, I'm just going to, there we go. And so that it takes that kind of pressure.
Well, it seems to me they're ignoring all of you. I mean, I think en masse, everybody's saying the right things. What juice do you have? I mean, what can you do?
Well, my sense was even Democratic legislators had the same type questions that Republicans had.
Mm-hmm.
This didn't seem to be partisan at all. Everyone was deeply concerned that the state had no answers. So I think you're going to see a joint effort here. And I would guess that there's going to be pressure on the federal government, even from Governor Murphy, because of I think people in New Jersey are going to say, whoa, that's all we have in our toolkit was not knowing anything about drones the size of a SUV. That's a very scary theory if that's true. So, you would think if there's an SUV-sized drone coming from the Atlantic Ocean, that you would think that we would know that. But from what I hear, we don't.
That seems impossible to me. I don't know. You're inside the meeting. You're inside with a lot of that. That seems impossible to me.
It's not.
But
I thought so too.
Yeah,
I thought so too. But
I can't accept it because it would be shocking. Listeners and you and I should then say, "Wow, we have a lot of work to do if we can't deal with something like this and at least know what we're dealing with." That's pretty frightening.
Well, this takes as I said, Department of Defense, Secretary of Defense, to immediately come to New Jersey, do a press conference, say, okay, everybody calm down. We're watching this, or we're monitoring it, or we know where these drones are coming from. Until that happens, you should be shocked.
Well, let me ask you, you're running for governor now. This is a big field. We're really watching the Republican primary, 3 major candidates at least. If you were governor, give me an idea of your overall philosophy in this, what we would learn that you might do. Would you do what Murphy's doing as far as you can tell, or is there something, some other vision, some other thing you would do in Jersey if you were the governor?
Well, I would demand the Department of Defense to come in. I would do a press conference if I had to in Washington, D.C. I would visit the Secretary of Defense. That is the only entity that can answer questions here. I would be making all the noise necessary to make sure that the federal government came in, and you can be assured that the feds came in, they could figure it out.
I hate to say this because you don't know me that well. You've been on a few times, John, but you may not know me that well. But I'm not wild-eyed on this. But if I were the governor, after a point, let's say the next 24 hours or so, I'm not getting closer to this being addressed, I might take action as a governor to shoot one of these drones down.
But I'm not going to tell the Department of Defense how to do it, but they haven't done anything at this point. So, yes, if that's what has to be done, it should be done. But I'm convinced that a governor cannot order that without federal approval. So I want to make sure that the feds take over this investigation immediately. And I can tell you, if I was governor, they would hear my voice loud and clear.
Well, tell us where we go to find you, your website, and all the information as you run for governor.
All you have to do is Bramnick for governor, and everything will pop up. Some you'll like, some you won't like. But I'll tell you I can tell you this, it's going to be authentic, and you're not going to see any change in any of my positions over my 20 years from the time I was Republican leader in the House until I'm going to be.
And that's spelled for listeners,
authenticity and consistency.
BRAMNICK. Well, please.
I love it.
Keep us in the loop. We'd love to hear from you as this develops, and we'll talk more, too, about running for governor. Thank you, John. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. John Bramnick here on Talk Radio 1210. Dawn Fantasia, Dan tells me, just got out of this meeting, too. Look, if you're the governor and the feds, I mean, how many more days do we need this back and forth, are not coming forward with anything, then you have to consider as governor, all right, we're going to shoot one of these drones down. What are they going to do if you do that? Would people in Jersey go, oh, man, this guy's going against the Biden administration? Do you think the Trump administration would be sitting here during there's quite a contrast. And if this is the Chinese or even worse, maybe the Iranians again, these are impeachable offenses or worse to what's going on here. And if Dan's theory, these are trying to figure, because I read about the cell phone stuff, they're trying to monitor, watch us more, and then that's it. Then the gloves have to be off. I'm so sick of this stuff. Yep. So is America. We are sick of it. Go after the criminals, let people alone. It's a simple principle. If you go after more criminals, we won't have the issues that we have on the roadways and everything else. Get more cops, hire more cops. Press these prosecutors to actually follow the law. Stop watching the rest of us. Oh, what do you have to worry about there, Dom? What are you doing there? 855-83.
Some audio from Doug Steinhardt, too.
Okay, Doug Steinhardt will probably be on the show tomorrow. Here's what he said.
The best information that we have available to us to this point suggests that these drones are coming from offshore, that when we try to make contact with them, they become evasive and elusive. From my perspective, if they are American assets, if they're American military, if they're American drones, and I think we owe the American people answers or explanations, but if they're not American-made, if they're not American drones, then I think we owe the American people action. And if no one else is saying, I'll be the first one to say it. If these are not American assets, then we need to get our assets into the air and blow one of these things out of the sky, pick up the pieces and figure out what we're dealing with. Because quite frankly, we're the United States of America. I mean, I think we need to do a better job here.
I agree with him. So that means if you're governor, you order them to shoot him down. That's exactly it. Well, the Biden administration and these generals are going to come in. They're part of the problem. Not all of them, but any number of them. How many times have we been through this with this? The Joint Chiefs and General Milley and Trump and all. What would happen in the Trump administration? I don't think whatever this is would go up in this manner if they're American. That wouldn't happen. And if they're foreign, they'd be shot down almost instantly. 855-839-1210. You get on board. We'll talk with Assemblyperson Dawn Fantasia from Sussex County, who's been on us before with the bird feeders, and she has a lot on the Phil Murphy. Great job by Mike Testa yesterday, too, breaking it down. Why do we need to give criminal immunity to librarians if they're not thinking of committing crimes? What the heck? When's a librarian charged with a crime in New Jersey? Okay, 855-839-1210.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical critical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. DuckDuckGo has millions of users and thousands of five-star reviews. Local company making privacy products in our area since 2010. I want to tell you about Privacy Pro, and you're going to get a 30-day free trial at DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Why do you need Privacy Pro? Well, come on, it's so obvious, right? With all the hackers and scammers out there. Privacy Pro is your 3-in-1 privacy solution from the name in privacy, DuckDuckGo. You're going to get the VPN, personal information removal, and identity theft restoration. And subscribers get a service that will help restore your identity if it gets stolen. Plus, you get the VPN to secure your Wi-Fi connection wherever you are. And I'm always on the road, so that's huge for me. And personal information removal. I don't want anybody knowing any of my personal details. You get all that for less than $10 a month. It's amazing. You got to have it in this day and age. And you get a 30-day free trial, but only if you go to DuckDuckGo.com/1210. DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Sign up today just like I did. DuckDuckGo.com/1210.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
With a new administration bringing optimism back into the nation, it's more important now than ever before to become crash-proof.
Anthony Torelli, Clifton Heights, Pennsylvania. If President Trump can do what he did in his previous term as president and get the economy booming again, then that would be great for crash-proof, and it'll be great for my family and my future. This year, our portfolio grew by 15.7%. If I had left my funds with my previous advisor, that money would have returned about 8 to 9%, and we outperformed my previous advisor 2-1. That's interest credit that we're not going to lose with no fees involved. I'm glad the market's up, and I hope it continues to go up. But at some point, the market's going to come down again, and I'm guaranteed not to lose anything. We can continue on this pathway to success with crash-proof retirement.
You don't have to choose between security and opportunity. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the Copperfield Inn on January 22nd. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Keeping free speech alive. Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. One of our favorite guests, Assemblyperson Dawn Fantasia from bird feeder country. They can regulate, Dawn, bird feeders. They can be all over that, and bears in the trash cans. But if we're under God knows what, shut up. At the state level, you have no right to know what the heck's going on.
Tell me about it.
You're just out of this meeting, and we heard from Bramnick, who was going along pretty fine until I started suggesting, Dawn, at some point, I think people in Jersey are going to say the federal government won't do anything or tell you anything. You're going to have to knock one of these out of the sky and find out yourself then.
It was honestly shocking. I feel like our heads are spinning. Senator Holly Schapese, she really nailed them to the wall, and not much answers back from the federal representative there. I don't even know where to start. I left that meeting knowing just about nothing more than I went in knowing. And the underlying theme from all of us, and I mean, this was actually bipartisan, might I say. It was well balanced with one message from this caucus. Might I also add that Governor Murphy was not present, which did not instill any kind of confidence in the legislature, but there was a pretty solid representation from both Republicans and Democrats in that room. And we, I think, are in complete agreement that stating that there is no threat is incredibly misleading. And I mean, that was my first sentiment when I stood up and addressed the room. The truth is that the state authorities, including the New Jersey State Police, they're shackled with what they are able to do. So any interception, takedown of any of these drones is under the strict jurisdiction of the federal government.
Well,
And
I hear you, Dawn, but you know what? I think some people sitting in the governor's chair, you might be one of them, knowing what we know or don't know, they won't tell us. If you take them down, what are they going to do?
You know, there's that piece, but at this point, military intervention is really the only path forward. There are zero answers. And Colonel Callahan, you know, I feel bad for the guy. He's doing a very intricate tap dance, doing the best he can, and he's as flummoxed as the rest of us. He had sent up one of his helicopters with two of his men flying over one of the drones, and they made the decision to call that type of activity off for fear of what could actually happen in the safety of the pilot and the co-pilot of those helicopters.
So what is your read of, and I agree with you, this seems to be bipartisan. What's your read then of what's going to happen next here, Dawn? What's the play?
Well, in my opinion, I spoke to Senator Parker Space, who is the senator in my district, District 24, and Assemblyman Mike Ganamore, and he briefed us that the Senate Republican caucus had a conference call about next steps and what they are going to demand of the governor's office in the next 24 hours regarding what they are demanding of the federal government for intervention. You know, the most breaking news just came to me. One of the senators actually sent me the link to Congressman Van Drew speaking on Fox News with intelligence regarding Iran. So we have that now lingering as well. That's a new chink in the armor here, and it's absolutely unbelievable to me that you know we sat through literally a 90-minute briefing where we were chasing our tails. And the one thing also that we were really not pleased with, again, Colonel Callahan was as straightforward with us as possible, but there was a gentleman by the name of Brent Cotton. He is DHS counterterrorism. And he was highlighting all of the reasons why perhaps what these drones were doing was not breaking the law. And, it took Assemblyman Paul Knitra from Point Pleasant Beach to point out, are you kidding me? It impeded a medevac flight. They're turning their lights out at night. The devices aren't registered. They're flying over restricted airspace. What are you talking about? That they're complying with laws so the federal government can't move forward. I mean, that was the most nonsensical. I mean, to me, he didn't even have to be in the meeting, this guy, because it was ludicrous, the things that were coming out of his mouth.
If everybody in Jersey heard this guy say that, there would be big political trouble, Dawn, across the board here. It's bad enough. Well, they're not breaking the law. I hear what you're saying. They are. But also, what? We're going to hear that in the middle of this? I mean, people are wanting to know. They have a right to know. The last election was over things like this. And I think in a Trump administration, I don't think this would go on. If they were American, whoever did it wouldn't have authorization, and Trump would move on them in an instant. And if they were foreign, they'd be shot down instantly.
You are 100% correct. Why is this happening now in the 11th hour, in the twilight of the Biden-Harris administration? That's why this is happening in December. That's why this is happening.
Yep.
So the timing is awfully suspect. And again, it is not sufficient to poo-poo away the concerns of the residents. And this man, I stood up and I said, you know what? If this is going to be your message and this is your version of crisis communication, someone needs to get that guy a muzzle, because he has no business updating anybody on anything. And I said that. I said, you do not belong updating anybody.
Hey, by the way, I don't know how you were saying all these things and these notes. Boy, I wish I had this going for me every day. The notes are unbelievable here. I don't know. It's like every word, Dan, is we could model.
And to the point of those notes, I want to delve into something here, because there's a lot about the technology that was discovered today in the meeting that we're not talking about, and I really want to get into that, because in here you write that there's detection challenges. Infrared cameras aren't able to pick it up. Radio signals aren't able to pick it up. And you mentioned a concern that there's a safety concern for the helicopter pilots that are tracking these. So one, what has been learned about the technology that's been confirmed here? And two, a two-fold question. I want to be careful in asking this, but if officials are concerned that helicopter pilots might be in danger, why? Are we talking like, could these things be armed to protect themselves? Like what are we talking about here that they could be in danger?
Well, first of all, I don't have to speak with any anonymity. There was nothing that was told to us that was confidential. That was made clear by Colonel Callahan right out of the gate, and that I appreciated. So all of my notes, I being an English teacher, I kind of, put that hat on and gathered everything I possibly could, and then tried to organize as best I could afterwards. But, truth be told, our current technology and what the state police was employing currently is not at the level of sophistication where this can be detected. We are woefully behind, and the way it was explained to us is, even technology from as little as 2 years ago is practically obsolete. It's considered child's play. So I do not believe that, at least at a state level, we have that level of sophistication. Now, in my notes, I did also note that the next steps was enhanced surveillance, use of infrared cameras. They are developing new technology with cameras that were described to us by DHS. Now, again, that technology is emerging. It's almost like a beta version to be able to catch up. It's a typical game of technology, right? Cat and mouse, back, forth, where you're trying to counter what comes out to counter what counters. So, it's really cyber warfare. It's war games just on a technological scale.
Unbelievable stuff, Dawn. Thank you. I mean, Governor.
Sorry, I just want to ask.
Yeah.
Is there any about the concern to the pilots? I'm assuming that's just danger of collision because they're not keeping their lights on. You don't know where you're flying. You could run into one of these things. Is that what's going on there?
And also, that's a piece of it. But what you said prior is absolutely correct. They do not have knowledge, if those aircrafts are manned at all. So they are also remiss to try to shoot down something should that actual device be manned somehow, because they are certainly large enough to carry a human being. Secondarily, they don't know what it contains. Are there explosives? Senator Mike Testa brought up a very, very powerful point, talking about, the possibility of electromagnetic pulses that could possibly come out. And if something like that happened, and Assemblyman Rob Clifton noted that there was a significant amount of drones that were flying over in electricity plant or whatnot in his district. I'm not too familiar with his specific district. He's south from me, but saying that they were monitoring that. And the fear is if the grid were to be attacked, we're not talking, as Senator Testa said, we're not talking days or weeks, months. We're talking years of a crippling result for the United States if something like that were to happen. So, again, these are not hobby drones. This is not somebody who went to Walmart and got their kids something to fly. This is serious business here, and I think we'll learn a lot more in the very near future.
So the state doesn't have the technology at this point. Were you assured the federal government does, or we don't know that?
No, we were not assured. We did not. And again, Senator Shapizi really hit that point home in the meeting that, we honestly left feeling very deflated as to what our response is. Now, the one glimmer of hope for me, and I don't know if I was reading into it, but that fellow from DHS Counterterrorism referenced the United States Coast Guard twice and said he was limited as to what he could say.
Okay.
So that was why I posited that, perhaps there's something that we are not briefed on or privy to, because there were reports that, that these aircraft were perhaps coming, from a maritime setting. So if that happens to be the case, it would make sense, stands to reason that the Coast Guard would be, involved.
Dawn, one more thing. You were in the meeting, so did you hear Jeff Van Drew? We can play it for you and get your reaction.
And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government because they would have let us know. It could have been some really glorified hobbyists that were doing something unbelievable. They don't have the technology. But let's pretend that's possible. The third possibility was somebody, an adversarial country, doing this. Know that Iran made a deal with China to purchase drones, motherships, and technology in order to go forward.
All right, there you go, Dawn. That is the most, it's both chilling and I can tell too, it just angers us that we, the greatest nation in history, are going to sit here and let Iran, if that pans out to be true, continue to terrorize people in this manner.
Well, ironically, what the congressman just shared, I think you might agree with me that it would actually coincide with what we're seeing and what we're hearing in reports, again, coming from a maritime angle, right?
Yes.
And where they would be landing and the places they are surveilling. So this would not surprise me one iota, not one iota.
Well, Dawn, thank you very much. Again, keep us in the loop. And again, I love the notes. Boy, I wish I had that every day.
I'll do my best.
Right. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Assemblywoman Dawn Fantasia here on Talk Radio 1210. Now, by happenstance and great producing, Jeff Van Drew will be here at 2:30 today. And you just heard Van Drew say, I only saw it on Fox. I didn't hear it quite that way, that it is Iran. He was more certain about that. I thought there was speculation about it. Boy, when does January 20? And what's Biden doing today? Eating ice cream, complaining about something or other in his presidential library. They're not getting enough money for it. Can we get to January 20th? We're still well over a month away. What would happen in the Trump administration with this? 855. What would Harris do? By the way, I'll give you coming up this hour, I have the odds on who will be named by Time Magazine tomorrow, the person of the year. Let's see. Most of these are reasonable. They have Musk at 8-1, Kate Middleton at 6-1. Time couldn't say, and all this stuff, yeah, Kate Middleton is our person of the year this year.
Yeah, don't do that.
No. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board right now. Let me first tell you, though, about happy holidays to all. The perfect time to talk about Rescue. That's Rescue Natural Supplements in their Deck the Hall sale right now. You can save up to 78% off exceptional natural supplements for every area of your health, from essentials like omega-3s and probiotics to cholesterol support, natural pain relief, and more. The best part, over a dozen health-boosting Rescue products are marked down under $20. Get started or stock up today. Call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a Rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. With Rescue, you can reinforce your immune system, boost energy, and reach your health goals. Again, there's no code needed to save up to 78% site-wide. Get a head start on your health. Visit res-q.com. Do it today.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos? Starting now, radio listeners get access to our best last-minute holiday deals from Legacy Box. Get your family's videotapes converted for just $9 and photos professionally scanned for as low as 7 cents each, which is 76% less than what other brands charge. As the world's largest digitizer, you know you can trust Legacy Box to digitize your entire collection of old media. Everything from the embarrassing haircut you had in the 90s to photos of your great-grandma's wedding. Visit legacybox.com/value to get 200 photos scanned starting at just $19.95. Oh, and don't forget, Legacy Box also digitizes over 15 other types of analog media. It's the most meaningful gift you can give this holiday season. Take advantage of this exclusive last-minute holiday offer from Legacy Box. Go to legacybox.com/value. That's legacybox.com/value.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
Honey, bags are packed and in the trunk. Is the car good to drive to Mother's holiday dinner?
Yes, dear. Car's good. We have Ox Car Care for their extended car service plan. Ox covers our repair bills if anything happens. We have no worries if any problems come up on our holiday travels. Ox Car Care has our back.
I remember. Ox has flexible coverage plans that can protect issues with engine, transmission, brake systems, and so much more.
Yep, we don't pay. Ox pays. Ox gets it fixed for us. Joe at the auto shop says Ox Car Care pays them directly, and there's no complicated paperwork. Ox is A+ rated, with already millions of dollars paid out in claims.
Right. They handled our claim from start to finish, unlike those other companies. Good call. The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill this holiday. The only thing now is, which pie is Aunt Martha making?
Drive with absolute peace of mind this holiday season. Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-458-0279. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox today. 800-458-0279. 800-458-0279. Or oxcarcare.com.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-727-9105. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105.
Hey girl, it's your new night guy, Jimmy Fallon in the house from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and free on the Odyssey app.
Now on Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. It's Dom time. Now Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Thanks to the two representatives we have on. Jeff Van Drew at 2:30 today. He says almost definitively it's Iran. You heard the bite that we played. And I want to couple it with something. This from Town Hall. Katie Pavlich was in the Blaze, too, yesterday. New report exposes extensive government spying on bank accounts of Americans. The FBI abused the Bank Secrecy Act in order to work with banks to target opponents of the Biden administration. If the word MAGA would come up, or Trump would come up, or even Bible, then the Patriot, even Bibles. Investigators found the FBI was flagging purchases that included those things and eyeballing them. They also monitored transactions at stores like Cabela's and Bass Pro Shop. Other purchases linked to religious texts like Christian Bibles were flagged under the guise of preventing extremism. They can do this stuff, and yet when it comes to something like this, the only thing they're good at is telling us what we can't do to do something about this. And what Dawn just said there, the guy that bothered me the most, it wasn't a Homeland Security. It was another operative there who said, well, how do we know they're doing something illegal? Or maybe he even said they're not doing anything illegal. This is just madness. And in some ways, this is what the last election was about. This is what a Biden administration of progressive Democrats, this is what they do with the federal government. They come after you, but as far as defending you, they can find a million reasons. You know what it reminds me of? And we went through this, got to be friendly with the governor of Arizona at one point. She was not allowed to stop illegal immigration. We were told it was a federal deal, but they didn't want to stop illegal immigration. We go through this all the time. This is the game. And this has gone on to greater measure this last week, but for a couple of weeks at least. What do they have to do before people demand that we actually shoot one of these down and then engage in the safest way possible to try to determine who they are? Or do they already know, as Jeff Van Drew said? We'll ask him at 2:30. All right, let me go to Barry in Shamong. Has seen these. I love the name Shamong. It's one of my favorite town names. Hey, Barry, good afternoon. Welcome in.
Hey, Dom. Thanks for taking my call here. I agree with your last caller about all the possibilities that we've seen these, and my friends have seen them, and they're calling me. I says, I've seen them. And basically, the strange thing is, why do they have their lights on? If you're, say it is Iran, why would you keep the lights on these drones if it's secret?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one question. The other thing is we could all almost be dead by now.
Well, yeah, based upon the federal government response, if they did want to do that, had the capability, they mentioned the grid there, and they mentioned Bedminster, where Trump is. Yeah. They certainly could have done an horrific amount of damage. It underlines the fact that Biden can't even get to January 20th. We need something done there at that level to do something. And what the federal government is good at is being oppressive on something they want. Irv Homer, Barry, departed talk show host, used to say this, and when I was breaking into talk radio, and it's a truism. They don't much care, many governments, if you get murdered. They're not all out. But if you don't pay your taxes, that's their money. That's what they're concerned about. They're going to come after you. And the federal government here is concerned about spying on Americans, but not stopping something like this.
I agree with you, Dom. I have my kids had toy drones. You fly your toy drone over the neighbor's yard,
yep.
The police will be at your door thinking you're a peeping Tom. And you're telling me that they cannot do anything about this? What's NORAD? Isn't NORAD supposed to protect our airspace?
Absolutely.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I'm waiting for one to come over my yard. I mean, I saw them when I was driving down through Tabernacle, and we're close to Fort Dix. I got military planes flying over all the time. I can't believe that you can, they're blatantly out there. Everybody's seeing them.
Thank you, Barry. Thanks very much. And look, from this meeting, once again, what's lacking here? Urgency. I mean, Jeff Van Drew is told by people in the government that they have a pretty good idea this is Iran. And if they have a mothership, I would tell you in the Trump administration, they have a mothership doing this. We're going to go after it. We're not going to say, oh, it's international waters. I can see Trump reading this, international waters, in the Oval Office. He's in there with a bunch of talk show hosts. International waters. There you go. Take that, international waters. My God. 855-83. Iran? That's the most disgusting part of all. China, at least, you're dealing with a major adversary. but that Iran, Jeff Van Drew believes pretty certainly could be doing this. Yeah, that's what he just said on Fox. He'll be here at 2:30. And we'll have some context put to that. We'll break it down. All right, don't forget that we're looking today for, and we extended it kind of. Originally, it was a food like SpaghettiOs that are not as bad as people say. And Dan added his, and it's a product, a person, whatever. I have a guy on Twitter, though, Dan, that put Hitler up there. Hey, buddy.
Oh, get the hell out of here, man.
I'm taking care of it during the break. I just wanted to tell people. I'm not, and you go, oh, it's a matter. Can't we answer? No, you can't, clown. How many times do we have to go this? Yeah. I'm in a camp that says certain things are still offensive in America, and that's one of them. What kind of clown's putting on my Twitter Hitler?
Yeah, no, get it out.
Did he defend it, or did he just say Hitler?
Hitler, he just said Hitler.
Yeah, that's just a troll.
Well, even worse if he defends it. I don't want to hear any defense. Well, aren't we here? Can't we make a defense? No, get the hell out of here. Go someplace else.
There is one on Twitter I can endorse, though.
And that is?
Ketchup on eggs.
Yes, I'm not a big egg fan, but when I used to, I would put a little ketchup on scrambled eggs. Yeah, not bad.
How do you feel about ketchup on pancakes?
Oh, my God. That's disgusting.
I have a friend that does that, and it's an embarrassment to take them to, like, diners and stuff.
Yeah, they shouldn't be. You know what I would say? Hey, buddy, get out of my diner. What do you mean here? Take those pancakes, put the ketchup on, you pay for them. Now get out of here.
I have a buddy, you bring him to a pizzeria, he asked for ketchup.
You know, the sugar content, need I go into that with ketchup, but come on. It's 855-839-1210.
Someone else says Greg Stocker.
Yeah, I saw that one on Twitter. Well, there is freedom of speech here, but Hitler, do you not get it? We don't take answers in the Bible. We don't take Hitler as an answer. How many times do we have to do that? And you are suspect if you're putting down Hitler. I wonder, what the hell are you thinking?
Yeah.
You know, it's going to come back to that. Yeah, I'm not ashamed to say, oh, you can't say that. You're a conservative. No, I am a conservative, and I do say that more than almost anybody. All right, great stuff, too. Thanks for getting Dawn Fantasia on right from the meeting. And this is small type, page after page of her notes as this was going on. You imagine when that guy, from what she said in the meeting, said, well, you know, they're not doing anything illegal. And that guy's in our government. What don't you get? You know, they think they're imbued by the power of the federal government. They can just do anything, and we have to go, well, it's a federal government. What are you going to do here? You can't fight City Hall. 855-839-1210. Get him right now on Talk Radio 1210.
Do you have a property that you no longer want? Maybe you inherited the property. Maybe you're underwater in the property. Or maybe you're just a tired landlord, tired of dealing with tenants. Listen, I can buy those properties, and I'll buy those properties fast. I can close in 2 weeks. I buy properties cash. My name is Larry Steinhaus. Give me a call at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I will personally answer the call. You can also visit easyOutRealEstate.com. Hey, this is Larry Steinhaus from Investor Schooling. Did you know I have a radio show every Saturday from 1 to 3? It's called The Larry Steinhaus Show, and it's sponsored by Investor Schooling. On this show, you will learn things about finances and things about money that you never knew before. But even more of a reason to listen to this show is how much fun we have. If you haven't heard the banter between me, Omri, and Dr. Deb, you haven't heard the greatest show on earth. Listen to this show this Saturday at 1 o'clock right here on WPHT, and I promise you will learn something.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business, with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Are you worried about your roof handling the next storm?
At Emmons Roofing and Siding, we provide top-quality roofing services that fit your budget and stand the test of time.
And our team of roofing experts ensures your home stays safe and dry with durable, reliable roofing solutions to any problems you may have. Plus, at Emmons, we offer free inspections and free estimates.
So call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Attention December holiday shoppers. TurnersvilleJeep.com is celebrating holiday deals all month long. Wranglers, Grand Cherokees, Compasses, and Ram trucks as low as $269 per month at TurnersvilleJeep.com.
Example 2024 Jeep Compass. VIN number SD505785. 4-cylinder auto, power steering, power brakes, AC, MSRP 33840. CEL. Payments of $269 a month for 42 months with $45.99 due at inception. TOP 16166. 7,500 miles per year. Residual 18,950. $595 acquisition fee. Tier 1 credit through Stellantis Financial. Includes $4,000 in rebates. Price includes all costs except for licensing costs, registration fees, taxes, and $599 doc fee. Offer not valid with trade-in. Ends 1/2/25.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This has been a test of the emergency alert system.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Way down we go. All right, time to Giordano's show. Welcome in, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. So we've heard from a couple of politicians who were in the meeting today, and it's stunning, even more so than what's happened. The lack of answers or anything going forward, and Murphy not even there. I guess something is bigger. He's got to be somewhere defending some crazed librarian who, is under fire for giving every kid there a book like Lawn Boy. Amazing. Even for Murphy, though, the lack of any pushback, other than saying they're pretty sophisticated. They turn off their lights when we have eyes on them. What the heck is going on? Now, one other thing I wanted to mention, and we'll take some more calls. Don't forget the side question either. Capitol Police yesterday arrested a man for assaulting Nancy Mace. This guy got into the, I'm not sure if it was the Rayburn building or the other one. Went through security and all that. Then he attacked Nancy Mace. And apparently he's an activist, trans activist, who attacked her because of her stance. We went back to the bathroom thing. And I mentioned at the time stopping the representative from Delaware going into the bathrooms because it's believed it's still a male biologically. Okay. And we talked about the back and forth. This is a winner, though. Going after this now, when you have a guy attack Congresswoman Nancy Mace in this kind of manner, and it's clear that that's what this is about. She sustained some injuries, her shoulder a bit and her wrist, but soldiered on. This is where it's going to end up. This is where we're going to go. It's not going to be easy to defeat these people on this, but I'm convinced every time we have one of these trans incidents, I take a look at the landscape here in Pennsylvania. We had on Dan Muser, congressman, yesterday, who I think is going to run against Shapiro, and we talked about this fairness in sports law that Republican women are promoting again in Harrisburg. The bill, it'll come up very early in the year, and it got bipartisan support the last time. The only thing that happened is, though, that Governor Wolf was the governor. He didn't care. He had no aspirations beyond being governor, so he vetoed it. They didn't have enough to overcome the veto. Will Josh Shapiro veto this? I want to see him do it. I want to see the chameleon veto this in Pennsylvania. And if Republicans have any skill at all to tie him to this, we saw what happened in the last election. We saw what happened with Harris. She could renounce everything else. She couldn't renounce this. Shapiro, I think, will veto it. He'll call us cruel, discriminatory, poor trans kids, and everything else. We'll see this time. We'll see if he's dinged up on this one. This is a prime area to smoke him out. And Nancy Mace being assaulted now in this manner is another prime thing to go forward with. All right, 855-839-1210. Let's go to Robert in Ben Salem. Hey, Robert, good afternoon.
Hey, Dom, Dan, it's good to talk to you guys today.
Robert, before you go forward, excuse me, Dan, any update in the race there with Robert?
Yeah, so as you heard earlier in the show, Gary in Newtown called in. He won his matchup, first round matchup between Gary and Allen, not a male in Yardley. So Gary now faces off Robert in Ben Salem, and there's some news here. I got a picture that Gary in Newtown sent over. It looks like that you and Gary went out to eat at some point and drew up a sign that said you want to endorse Joe of X. We're not going to let you take yourselves out of the race.
No way.
But I'm not going to do that. All I'm saying is that in my heart, I hope he wins. Whatever the voters decide is fine. But in my heart, I hope he wins. So you're taking away my mojo right now, Dan.
A little reverse psychology, maybe?
Yes.
No, we just did that today. We went to breakfast today. We were talking about it over breakfast. Yeah.
Oh, man, the scheming, the politics of this.
I don't want to take credit here, but did your friendship develop over the Dom Giordano program?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's great.
That's really cool.
And I'm looking forward to making more with other callers because everyone I meet is great. But I needed to go off. They don't know where these UFOs are coming from, but they know that they're not a threat. They don't know where COVID came from, but they know it wasn't from that COVID lab up the street. We don't know why the whales are dying, but we know it's not them big electromagnetic field generating turbines that we put out in their migration path. We don't know where the cocaine come from, but we know it wasn't from the crackhead hunter. These people have no business being in power, Dom. This is, I mean, come on. This is a clown show, man. The balloon that flew over the whole country. Well, we don't know what it is, but we know it's not a threat. I'm getting sick of this, man. And I have to blame the shrinking media and the knuckleheads that vote for these people. I mean, my goodness. And look at the last election. As bad as Kamala was, she still got, 73, 74 million votes? That's sad, Dom.
Yeah, that's well put. And Robert, if it were China, bad enough, right? But Iran, Jeff Andrews says, if it's Iran and we sit here and allow them to terrorize people in this manner?
This would never go on under a real president.
Exactly.
We would have known that balloon wouldn't have made it past Washington. You know what I mean? If we had a real president. But I'm going to calm down, and I'm going to go to my side question. And I'm surprised this wasn't off the board, but I'm going to go with spinach. It was the most universally hated food when I was a kid.
Yep.
My dad told me it would put hair on my chest, which wasn't true. And it felt like a big phlegm ball going down. But as I got older, you cook it properly, you saute it, you steam it, a little butter and salt. It's really good. So I'm going to go with spinach for my answer.
That is a great one. I agree. Brussels sprouts, spinach, yes, I'm on board with
There's been a PR campaign on the level of avocados that spinach has the past couple of years with all these green drinks. That's really turned around and become.
I love that.
Someone appreciated spinach.
Yeah, it is a great drink. By the way, someone else, it's not Hitler-esque, out of bounds on my Twitter, saying Ben Affleck. Why do you guys not like Ben Affleck? He's a Oscar-winning director. He's a great actor. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's not good.
No, he's not. And just his daily life, what we see him with J-Lo and the whole thing, that doesn't look so good either.
His life's a soap opera. His aura is just loser, to be frank. I mean, he just doesn't give off good vibes.
Well, a little story, former program director, not anybody, it's back a little bit. We go out, Ro and I, and his wife and him, to a movie and dinner. So the movie is Argo. I think he had too much Coke. He had the giant Coke thing, couldn't get to the bathroom. He started yelling at Ben Affleck on the screen. It was a mainline place, too.
Oh, man.
And I'm thinking, oh, man.
Too much Coca-Cola.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I mean,
Okay.
Coca-Cola. But, I mean, I said it was a giant, it was a 64-ounce or, that's just a small rant. But when Ro always says, can I have a small? And the small is bigger than anything we've ever – they don't recognize sizing at all. What's a gargantuan? How many ounces is that?
80.
Oh, my God.
At least,
Oh, God. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., get on that, buddy.
So back to Robert Ben Salem's call. Call
Yes.
of the Year contest is currently going on at Dom Show 1210. Go place your votes now. The current matchup we have is still a first-round matchup. It's the final one of our first round.
How's it going?
Bruce in the Northeast with his raspy voice taking on Drew in Upper Darby, the king of trivia. Bruce in the Northeast, 55.6%, beating out Drew.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
pretty close.
Got a tight one.
Hey, did everybody just hang up there? Or was some gremlin? Are the Iranians here?
We have an Iranian.
Yeah,
today.
we've been having phone troubles back here the whole show. So, if you're on the line, if you want to call in, please just bear with us.
Yeah, and if you have an Iranian accent, I want to talk with you. 855.
It's the drones, Dom. It's the drones.
855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless just push pound 1210. Well, Christmas, New Year's, the days are counting down. We're busy as ever. Need help? Party and meal planning? Only one place to go, Captain Chucky's. They have everything you need for your holiday table, or you're heading to a gathering, you're going somewhere, bring Captain Chucky's. That's right. We all know Captain Chucky's known for their fantastic crab cakes, wild-caught Gulf shrimp, and soups. But they're also teaming up with some well-known family-owned businesses to offer some great products. Captain Chucky's and Marciano's Bakery of Philly, they have now launched their newest invention, the Bang Bang Crab Cake and Cheese Specialty Bread. Available exclusively at most Captain Chucky's locations. Captain Chucky's also has a Taste of Philly section in most stores that carry all these great family-owned items, Stock's Pound Cakes, Marciano's Specialty Breads, pierogies from the Pierogi Kitchen of Roxborough, Chef Matt's Key Lime Pies, Derby's Philly Famous Clams Casino, and also Vera Pasta Company of Westchester. They produce Captain Chucky's own line of pasta, including 3 different raviolis. They have the lobster, the bangin' crab, and finally their shrimp scampi ravioli. They have their own jarred blush sauce. So just check out their website and local Captain Chucky's. And don't forget, though, get those Dom rolls at any Captain Chucky's. You will love it over this holiday season. All this great stuff, go to one location, WeLoveCrabCakes.com. WeLoveCrabCakes.com. Headed to the shore, visit CaptainChucky'sAtTheShore.com.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos? Starting now, radio listeners get access to our best last-minute holiday deals from Legacy Box. Get your family's videotapes converted for just $9 and photos professionally scanned for as low as 7 cents each, which is 76% less than what other brands charge. As the world's largest digitizer, you know you can trust Legacy Box to digitize your entire collection of old media. Everything from the embarrassing haircut you had in the 90s to photos of your great-grandma's wedding. Visit legacybox.com/value to get 200 photos scanned starting at just $19.95. Oh, and don't forget, Legacy Box also digitizes over 15 other types of analog media. It's the most meaningful gift you can give this holiday season. Take advantage of this exclusive last-minute holiday offer from Legacy Box. Go to legacybox.com/value. That's legacybox.com/value.
Bob's Little Sports Shop, Delsey Drive in Glassboro, is your one-stop shop for firearms and firearm safety. Bob's now offers an expanded selection and classroom area, NRA-certified instructors for all your firearm education. Bob's also has your New Jersey carry permit qualifications and an indoor pistol range open daily.
As they wrote our founding documents, our founders prayed each day that God would guide them as they wrote and guide them on their way. They knew that all our liberties were a gift from God above, and that we all must work to keep this land we love. We call this land America, the land of the free. To keep this the greatest land, it's up to you and me. Our freedom is a constant fight. We all must do our part. To stand and fight for all our rights is where we all must start.
Remember Bob's Little Sports Shop for firearms and firearm safety. Call 856-881-7575 or bobslittle.sportshop.com. Paid for by Bob's Little Sports Shop, Glassboro, New Jersey.
It's Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Westchester University and Pittman, New Jersey in February.
Alan Iverson, Joel Embiid.
My dad set this up. This was actually a Christmas gift to bring us all together, come see Joe and relive all the Philadelphia history. It's amazing.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm and the story of Philly sports through music. Westchester University on February 21st and the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey on February 22nd. Tickets to a Conklin show make great holiday gifts. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Steel holiday savings are here. Find the perfect gift at your local Steel dealer or shop the Steel Holiday Gift Guide at steelusa.com. Weather sponsored by the Piazza Auto Group.
A strong storm system will bring periods of rain heavy at times through the day today. It'll be windy and warm with a high 65. For tonight, rain comes to an end during the evening, windy and turning colder with a low 35, and a mixture of sun and clouds on Thursday, windy and chilly with a high near 40.
Experience the joy of a new Volkswagen during the Sign Then Drive sales event. Lease a new Tiguan from Piazza Volkswagen of Ardmore or Langhorne with 0 down. Or get 0% financing for 60 months. Visit piazzavw.com for details.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. Welcome in. 855-839-1210. You got the side question today. Something, it's SpaghettiOs Day, essentially, noodle rings. Something that is not as bad as people say it is. Could be a food, a product, a person, a thing, something like that. That's what we're looking for. We had some great ones. Also, you've heard, and you're going to hear Jeff Van Drew at 2:30 today. He made a lot of news claiming that it's, I wouldn't say certain, but that it's leaning toward Iran's mothership off the coast, firing those drones over New Jersey. And you heard from people that were inside the meeting with New Jersey representatives telling us they were stonewalled with no information coming from the federal government. A couple of quick things. One, I forgot to mention it, and I do it every year. We're so caught up in some of the drama of some of these other things that Monday was a significant day, December 9th, the anniversary of the murder of Daniel Faulkner, 1981. I remember one of the first things when I was finally in talk radio. By that point, we did a service at the cathedral. Nunn set it up, giving testimony, essentially, to remember him and to talk about what Mumia Abu-Jamal deserved. Hard to believe, isn't it? 43 years of this. The other thing is inflation rate, November, 2.7%, the rate up from 2.6, indicating, again, we still have difficulties with this. Now, you know, Trump's going to come firing in on that. He gets it, that's what Americans want. It's both the rate, but it's kind of unbaking what's been baked in there as far as high prices. And I think he's going to succeed. You're going to see a difference at the grocery store, say, within the first 6 months to a year. And if that happens, it will make a big difference. But something happened yesterday. We had Bill O'Reilly on, and O'Reilly, in the middle of it, told me that he had just spoken with Trump, and he had spoken with Trump a lot recently. And Trump's wish with O'Reilly was asking him, how do I become, in the second term, the greatest president in history, or at least a great president? Now, that is the upside of Trump. That's exactly the way he thinks. We're talking up there with Lincoln, Washington, I would say Reagan. How do I become that? You know, piecing it out, going back and forth. What do I have to accomplish? Now, O'Reilly admitted he's emotional. Sometimes he gets sidetracked. But this is the guy that we're dealing with. This is the upside. And if he stays on that upside and we're going down this path, then these next 4 years truly are going to be remarkable. So that would mean they're not about retribution. They're about a golden age that he talks about. And that means several things have to be done to get the country back in order. This is a perfect example. Who's in charge here? What government people are making this decision to tell New Jersey, you can't do anything. We're not going to do anything ourselves. We'll determine everything here. When we have a bunch of drones, maybe hundreds of them, flying over, terrorizing people, flying over power plants, the grid, flying over sensitive areas like Bedminster, where Trump is at times, and gathering all this information and doing God knows what else. Just lack of urgency here is incredible. This ought to be all hands on deck. This ought to be the federal government out there reassuring people and moving on this and doing something about it. And if we don't have the ability to deal with this, What does that say about the last 4 years, particularly if it's Iran? I will tell you this. If this continues to the Trump time, that first day, and it is Iran, and there is a mothership with drones, and the drones are the drones that are over Jersey, Trump's going to take it out. You know that. I know that. And I would support that. And what are they going to do about it? Declare war on us? Do they really want that? Is that what Iran would want? They saw what Soleimani got. That's what they're going to get if that's what the source is here. That's exactly what's going to happen. All right, phone lines. Get in on the side question 2, 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just push pound 1210. Tomorrow, thank God, I'm getting out of Dodge on my normal time tomorrow. There is around 5:30, avoid it, a caravan, apparently a big one, they're saying, that's going to go through Center City in the area where the Sixers would put this dreaded arena that's completely unnecessary in order to simulate and let people see what gridlock is all about. Now, I can't condone this because I don't condone anything that's going to take the average person and make them hostage to a situation. We'll have people tomorrow trying to get home to their kids, to whatever. You don't have to make an excuse. You just want to be able to drive your vehicle. Now, if there's an accident or some catastrophe and you get stuck, that's one thing. But organizing something that's going to create misery, as much as I agree with their sentiment, I'm not on board with that. So the Philadelphia Inquirer today says, a big feature article, you know where we ought to put the Sixers arena? Broad and Lehigh. And the guy who writes this, I would challenge this guy. Are you insane? We're going to get off the subway and be walking over little bridges and all at Broad and Lehigh. Kevlar vests will be given out. Well, what about my head, where the bullet shot's there? Can you imagine the Sixers arena? That's it, kiddies. We're at Broad and Lehigh. Ho, ho, ho. Ignore everything that's going around. Broad and Lehigh. This is what they come up with. And you know why? Because they're in their ivory tower. They're insulated. They're in the suburbs, or they're in Rittenhouse Square. They're in Chestnut Hill. They're not living at Broad and Lehigh. They wouldn't know about Broad and, it's being redeveloped. Yeah, in Dom's mind, look at the map right here. Broad and Lehigh. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. Broad and Lehigh. It ought to be down in South Philly. That's the place. It's the most convenient. It's worked out along those lines. The Sixers are out of control, and everybody knows it. Am I convinced, though, they're still going to go? Yeah, they don't care tomorrow what the gridlock is or what happens. The unions, the black clergy, they want this. They don't care about the Chinese. They don't care about any of this. I still predict they're going to do it. They're trying to make the Sixers pay $100 million to somebody for all the damage this will cause. The people that are damaged are not going to get that. So, no, I don't support creating gridlock. I just don't. It's not fair to people trying to get around that tomorrow. So if you can, avoid the area. I guess they're doing it around Market Street, like 9th and Market, 10th and Market, God knows, and through Chinatown or something like that. It will be gridlock. And if the Sixers get their wish and have it there will be gridlock at games, and people that have had a heart attack, they're rushing to Jefferson or whatever, they may die. But that's okay. This is what they want to do. Broad and Lehigh, though, they just never fail.
I just want the Flyers vision, Dan Hilferty. I want his vision of the South Philadelphia sports complex
that's
to come to fruition.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Right.
And the Sixers, if they go through with this, they'll have egg on their face if that plan also comes to fruition as well, because they're going to miss out on a lot.
Right, and depending on SEPTA is going to be so much different then. It's going to be like the Jetsons. Can you see SEPTA, whatever, 7 or 8 years from now? All right, here are the phone lines to get in. Get in right now. 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. You just push pound 1210. He's always a big guest, but at 2:30, Jeff Van Drew is here, and I'm sure he'll have a lot of reaction to what he said on Fox today about Iran being behind what's going on in Jersey. We'll have a chance to put some context around that and to take a look at it. I just saw on Fox something like, we still have Iranian funds that we can freeze. Take every dollar away from them. every shekel, every ruble, whatever it is, freeze everything. Take the whole thing away. It's if it is Iran, it's time to get serious in dealing with them. All right, let's talk about FanDuel. Make your first NBA bet a swish with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel has all your favorite bets, from who will win the game to how many points a player will score. Plus, check out newer bets like the number of dunks, assists, or three-pointers in the next 3 minutes. It doesn't matter if you tap into FanDuel before the game starts or after it's already tipped off. You can pick up a W whenever you do. And now's the perfect time to get in on all the action, because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bet if your first bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom for your chance to score $150 in bonus bets. Have a ball betting with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. And the NBA. And FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
These unidentified drones that are flying over New Jersey, they're saying they should declare some kind of a state of emergency.
Here's a marketing idea. I know yesterday was the sales day, so this probably won't be heard for another 6 days. We need to have a Kale and Company drone watch party.
Oh, boy.
We gather wherever these are. We'll go to Jersey, get mulligans on the line. Yeah. We're all going to sit outside, put the fire pits on. We'll have some drinks, and we'll watch drones.
Johnny Z, are you listening, buddy?
Let's go.
Open up mulligan. Let's do this, buddy.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
When the market reaches all-time highs, investors who try to sell high are met with the same excuses from their broker. You're in it for the long haul. Stay the course. Don't sell now, you'll miss out on opportunity. But crash-proof consumers have not missed out on the recent market highs.
Kathleen Ralco from Langhorne, PA. I haven't missed out on growth opportunity this year. As a matter of fact, we've capitalized on it with Crash-Proof. With the Crash-Proof retirement system, we've gotten over 10% this year. The market can still go down, but I don't lose any of that money. And it's no fees charged to that. I'm getting the benefits of the stock market, but I don't have the downsides to it. It's not too good to be true. We're living proof of it.
You don't have to wait until our next event to start your crash-proof retirement educational process. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the Copperfield Inn on January 22nd. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. You know how important online privacy and security is these days. That's why I subscribe to Privacy Pro from DuckDuckGo. It's a 3-in-1 subscription service, and it includes DuckDuckGo's VPN, personal information removal, and identity theft restoration. That's 3 features for the price of 1. Right now, we're able to offer you a free 30-day trial at DuckDuckGo.com/1210. I discovered DuckDuckGo years ago. It's an independent browser, search engine, millions use it, and now you can get an extra layer of online protection with the DuckDuckGo VPN. It secures your Wi-Fi connection anytime, anywhere, home, work, abroad. Yes, when I travel to Italy, I'll be using it, and it's so easy to use. Connect in just 1 click in the DuckDuckGo browser, and I check my VPN status at a glance. Get a 30-day free trial at DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Then you pay $9.99 a month. Do this. DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Free speech lives here.
The Dom Giordano program.
On Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. Welcome in. 855-839-1210. Marcus Aurelia saying, yeah, I'll enter the Schuylkill Expressway today of something that's not as bad as people.
Oh,
my God.
no, get out of here.
It
dude.
is as bad.
It's
Now, it's not New York.
It's horrible.
That's true. You know, I feel much better about Philadelphia traffic than New York. And he said Boston apparently is really horrible, too. But the Expressway, it was built originally for 49,000 cars a day.
How can Boston dig under an entire city, get a highway going over there, yet we can't make a double-decker out of the Schuylkill?
That's right. Arlen Specter's double-decker.
Double-decker.
We would name it in his favor. And our buddy Scott Presler on Twitter saying we're only 965 registrations away from flipping Center County, which is Penn State, where Penn State is. He seems to be driven to get this done even before the new year, which I don't know if that's possible, but he's on to it again. All right, let's go to the Earl of Tacconey here on Talk Radio 1210. All right, let's not go to the Earl of Tacconey.
Yeah, too many difficulties today.
Okay.
That's all.
855-839-1210. You have a line, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. Just push pound 1210. As I said, that Jeff Van Drew will be here, and we have Dom's Money Melody coming up, I believe. Boy, it's such a busy news day. At some point, though, I'm going to play this, and you'll see it on YouTube. It is quite riveting to me. Brett Favre, who is at best somebody with a lot of challenges, got into it a bit with Mark Gastineau, who I thought may have had some overkill from football that might have some dementia or something.
He doesn't look great.
Yeah, he doesn't look great. But listen to a little bit of the sound, and we have the video of this too, right? Yeah, you can see that on our YouTube.
Yeah, youtube.com/@1210WPHT there.
And here's the thing. Look, I know you're supposed to say, if you're a talk show, something, oh, you shouldn't carry grudges. No, what happened here is Brett Favre cheated, slid into Michael Strahan, who I'm not a fan of, and gave him the all-time sack record. That's exactly what happened. And Gastineau was the guy who had the record. Listen to this exchange.
I didn't know what had happened. The NFL should have stopped that.
Exactly.
And said, listen, no. That's not a sack. He took my record away from me. Anybody will tell you Brett Favre took a dive. And you know it, she knows it, he knows it, and everybody knows it. Excuse me. Finally met. Now you
I
tell
thought we
me.
met a long time ago. At least I saw you.
Right.
How you doing?
When you fell down for him. I'm gonna get my sack back. I'm gonna get my sack back, dude.
You probably would hurt me.
Well, I don't care. You hurt me. You hurt me. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
You really hurt me. You hurt me, Brett.
We got to get back to this, Brett. I'm sorry.
For him to do that to Brett Favre, that was my last straw. My last straw.
All right, so I side with Gastineau in this. Absolutely. No, Henry, you don't?
No. I mean, the way he went about it, and earlier in that clip, too, they talked to some of his teammates and just how he's a completely selfish guy, and this is all for himself. And I get it. It is a record that maybe should still be standing, but you can't.
Well, I'm just tired of people breaking records, cheating to do it, by Bonds, Hank Aaron's, and everybody sits by and says, well, there's nothing you could do. This was cheating.
Did he cheat? I mean,
yeah, he slid right into him intentionally.
I understand. I saw the play,
Yeah,
but they didn't coordinate that before game. Like, hey, I'm going to take a dive for you.
Well,
so
Brett
you get the
Favre
record.
had it in his head he was doing it. That's the only thing that matters. I mean, I just can't believe that Favre got away. I would have suspended him for a year.
A
year?
year?
You can't cheat. Yeah. You just cannot fool around with stuff that is so big time, so important to football and the records in baseball. They're important to people.
And I get that, but you can't suspend him for a year because he could argue that, like, I messed up the play, I went the wrong way, it was play action, I should have handed it off to the left, not the right. Like,
I think
don't
if you
think
were
you can
around
prosecute
then,
him
if
for
you
that.
were around then, I think you would have made a judgment saying no, it was clear.
I completely agree that he did take a dive, but I don't think you can prove that and then suspend him afterwards for it.
Okay, I think I differ. All right, just a little sidebar here. Big 2 o'clock hour. We have Dom's Money Melody coming up, and we'll take your calls. And also Jeff Van Drew here at 2:30. He broke news earlier today on Fox saying that it's Iranian. He was told by high-placed sources that's the source of the drones here. Okay, you get him right now. Big 2 o'clock hour on Talk Radio 1210.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Ink card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Total Wine & More has your holiday gift. Bourbon for Dad, Cabernet for your sis, champagne for a co-worker, the world's greatest wines. With free curbside pickup, save money and time. Winter liqueurs like peppermint cream turn a festive cocktail into a holiday dream. Now that's a low price you'll shout out with glee when you shop Total Wine for them and for me.
Curbside pickup available and the lowest prices for over 30 years only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day come to a physical office and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, welcome in, everyone. 855-839-1210. FBI Director Christopher Wray finally does something right. He resigns. Hey. I can't tell you, and again, I don't know if you're with me or not. You can say, well, come on, Dom, there are bigger things than this with the FBI, et cetera. This way Trump doesn't have to fire him. Look, I know some people are saying, I'd rather have the satisfaction. No. This is golden age. We're going after the golden age. Not, he had satisfaction. He's out. That's the key thing. Move on now. Get Kash Patel in there. That's what it's about. How many times did we see him drone on, though, not knowing what the deep state is? What does that mean? I think I don't know if we kept that one, Henry. We had it the other day with Christopher Wray asking during some Senate testimony about what are you talking about the deep state? Can we clarify that? All right, here's Christopher Wray from old time's sake. Then I'll tell you the thing that really annoyed me with him every single time. Here's what he said when asked about the deep state.
So, Director Wray, I'm going to ask you, is there a deep state at the FBI?
Congressman, I've never completely understood the term deep state. What I can tell you is that we have 37,000 men and women working in field offices all over the country and in league offices all over the world. And they are people of character, of courage, of principle, of selflessness, and of patriotism. And that's the FBI that I see.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Round and round and round with this guy time after time. So much so, I've seen how little credibility the FBI has anymore. And I've gone from the obligatory that you had to say, well, we're only talking about a small group of people. We're not talking about a small group. We're not talking about the greater number, the majority of people working in the FBI, but we are talking about more numbers than 10 people. Evidence of this, and one of the things, look, I know the big laundry list with Kash Patel, if he's in there, that we want to get to the bottom of. And they might involve all kinds of major things over the years that have been suppressed. But I want to bring in the people that are, I don't care if they've left the FBI, I would subpoena them. These people that were in the Richmond office that put out these memos, and it tells me it was probably going on in other places around the country, that said, we're going to surveil Catholics, domestic terrorism. We're going to take their license and we're going to check them all out in the parking lots. Why? They were going to a mass in Latin. That's suspect right there. Because if they're going to a mass in Latin, they're radicals. They're old school. Get out of the Latin stuff. Et conspiri 220 as an altar boy. I think the mass, I don't have any fetish that the mass has to be in Latin, back to those days and all that stuff.
My mom does Latin mass. I don't get it.
Well, it's
why go to,
because
can't really understand.
I think I can understand. I can't speak for her, but I would tell you what I think it is. It's traditionalism when the Catholic Church actually stood for self. Catholic Church in the past would not allow Biden to go to town on abortion without jumping in. They wouldn't have allowed Pelosi and these others to do various things. They would have been more proactive. They stood for something, whether you agree with them or not. Then the priest scandal, and other things that they did, which are so horrific. So people, Dan, are comforted by it. I think in their mind, maybe it elevates the Mass to something more grand to go to the Latin Mass. To me, I don't prefer it, but, Those are domestic terrorists, though. So Christopher Wray is out. I want these guys in Richmond brought in, every single one of them. This was a perfect example of this. And the bishops didn't stand up on this. They didn't go wild on this. They don't on almost anything, all of them. I want to see what they're going to do when Trump starts deporting people, though. See, this is where they get enraged, and particularly Cardinal Dolan. I only had him on once when I used to do the local Cardinal show. And he was very avuncular. He was funny and all that. This guy, though, is typical of the church today. All right, so 855-839-1210. Christopher Wray out. I think Patel is going to get through. Kennedy is the one where there's going to be quite a battle. And I have a story here about Hot Pockets and a Bucks County teen, yes, and Kennedy.
Hot Pockets.
This is, Dan, I'm not sure where you go in this. I think Henry might be on my side. I'm not sure about listeners. I like Kennedy a lot. The chronic illnesses, getting to the bottom of this. There's some areas I think he's a little bit off. But anyhow, we should not say the individual is not responsible for the food they consume and that we should just be able to sue people. A Bucks County teenager, Bruce Martinez, says the Inquirer, was diagnosed at the age of 16 with the illness, quote, that did not exist in children before ultra-processed foods became common in American diets, the lawsuit says. So this kid apparently has type 2 diabetes and fatty liver disease. He's suing 11 food manufacturers. They said he's the victim of predatory profiteering. Now, he admits regularly consuming a lot of amounts of Bagel Bites, Sour Patch Kids, Honey Bunches of Oats, Hot Pockets, Pepsi, Minute Maid, Slim Jims, and Chex Mix, Cheez-Its, and Starburst, and other ultra-processed products throughout his childhood. My point is that the food companies responsible for this?
Yes, 100%.
How so?
Because there are other countries that have like limits on this. They're not selling the same products to these other countries. They're selling healthier versions. They're levying on us knowingly unhealthy versions of their products, and we have no access to the healthy versions. I get your point. Had there been access to the healthy version, say, you can buy the European Cheetos versus American Cheetos, and sure, or Fruit Loops, that makes sense. But we're talking here, these companies aren't even offering a healthy option. They're just deploying on the American public without any recourse, unhealthy versions of what they're offering else worldwide.
A gun was held to the family and the kid to be eating all these quantities of these things, though.
Well, regrettably, for I think lower income people, a lot of times it's their only option.
Well, wait, I don't know if they're lower income or
I don't know.
not.
I don't either, but I'm saying in general that it's a very realistic thing to say that there was no other option than eating these processed crap that was forced upon us.
All right, Henry, what do you say?
Yeah, I mean, some of that stuff on there, you can't expect to eat it and then be like, oh, why am I fat? Like Sour Patch Kids and things. Yeah, obviously things like that. But I do tend to agree with Dan a little bit in the fact that, there aren't other options out there that you can kind of expose yourself to. And with all these, because the name of the game in the grocery store is shelf space. Like, you need to have shelf space. You need to stay on that shelf space. In order to do that, you got to put preservatives and all these additives in to keep that stuff fresh. And you saw what happens with whatever that Lunchable knockoff is, Dan. I'm sure you know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they were going bad on the shelf after a week because they didn't have all the stuff in it. So I don't know. It's a very difficult situation. I don't think you can sue the food companies and then self-admit like, oh, I ate garbage all the time.
That's what I see. See, this is the other side of it. I agree with Kennedy, like when we talked about McDonald's and the seed oil versus the beef tallow.
Yeah.
And how that got knocked out. And reforms like that and boxing these people in more, I want to hear
Explain to me, though, why it should be okay for companies to use red dye when they knowingly know what it causes in children after all these studies and it's being banned in Canada and Europe. Why is that okay for them to do in the U.S.?
Well, because in different countries there are different standards, there are different rules here about what they allow and what they think is safe and not.
Our standard's just on the floor.
So
yeah.
So why are we allowing the bar to remain on the floor and striving and fighting for
that? That's an issue to say, should there be a law? I'm not sure about the Canadian thing, by the way, with the Fruit Loops and all that, that's fully accurate. I basically buy into that. And that's a form. But I don't think people should get rich because this kid doused himself in all these foods. That's what it appears to me to be.
Yeah. I agree.
More than
if you were mixing in some other things there besides like Honey Bunches of Oats and Sour Patch Kids, maybe I get it. Like maybe if you're eating all chicken, and you're like, oh, this chicken's all roided up, it's not good for me. Then maybe you have a better argument. But
so is it impossible to raise a kid? And I know Dan and Maisie are thinking about that and avoid the excesses of this. And I'm the camp that says you can. It's not easy though. Now, make the argument it should be easier. That Kennedy said, I'm on board with that. That's true. That's absolutely true. No word on how much this kid ran around either. I'd like to see that.
What's his
somebody
mile
stopping
time?
him. Yeah, well, what's somebody stopping him on that? Man, Jeff Van Drew is all over the place. Saying it's Iranians. Fox News I'm watching now. I'll be here at 2:30. And also saying he would shoot them down. Is there anybody in America that's saying don't shoot them down? Now, we heard from Assemblywoman Dawn Fantasia that there's some electromagnetic fear here. I don't know where that comes from. That was Mike Testa about whether or not we should shoot them down. So I don't want to go wild here, but that's my instinct, and I think Van Drew is correct here. All right, is it Scott I go to? Scott, right? Yeah? Okay, Scott in Mount Laurel. Hey, Scott, good afternoon.
Hey, Dom. I'll tell you what, it's great to hear that the FBI director resigned. That was I pumped my fist when I heard that. That was great news.
Yeah, and I just can't wait. Now, this is not vindictive. This is to get to the bottom, Scott, of how deep it is in the FBI that Richmond office, and was it others, want to go after a Latin Mass on a Saturday, domestic terrorism. You can't make that up.
What stunned me was that when what you played, did he say that they have 37,000 agents?
Yeah, something like that. That's excessive.
That is
also
unbelievable.
Yeah, why do we need that?
Yeah, that is, wow, that shocked me when I heard that number. But as far as my side, I'm going with Sam Hinkie.
Oh, you're killing me. That's just killing me. All right, remember the premise.
Man.
He has helped destroy sports. I mean, that's just the oh my God.
Well, Dom.
Yes.
It goes back to what you said. If you get rid of the draft, get rid of socialism. But if those are the rules, and that's how you have to play to get the best players, and I believe that what derailed the process, so to speak, was when the NBA forced the Sixers to take that guy Colangelo, who was horrible, and squandered all the assets and made so many bad moves that basically, they're still a 50-win team every year based on what Hinkie did, which they weren't before he was the GM, and he's been gone for years and years.
So
they would have a much better team if he were still the GM.
The Eskins are down the hall. I should bring the two of them in, have a brawl here over this.
Oh, I'm with Scott on this one.
Exactly. All right, Scott, that's a good one, though. That is a good thing. I get your point when you have to do what you have to do and what you're in, but my God.
Oh, he was absolutely correct.
I'm loving seeing Phil Murphy under pressure here, too. As a little sidebar to what's going on in Jersey. Everybody, where's the governor? Jeff Van Drew making all the news on this, though. We'll be here at 2:30. But first, it's time for...
here we go.
I'll tell what the price is, okay?
Money Melody.
That is right. We're playing for a pair of tickets today to see Styx and Kevin Cronin from REO Speedwagon, plus Dan Felder at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. That's on August 8th, 2025. For tickets, visit Ticketmaster.com. Big prize today. All right, Dan or Henry, what do you guys
Dom, today, it's one of my choices. I got a cover song here by a band that is notoriously hated upon, but a lot of times when you mention their name, there's always one person in the room that says, you know what, they're not so bad.
I'm that person.
Yeah, are you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, so this band, often hated on, it actually led to a debate on the congressional floor at one point, so there's a big, big clue. Dom, we want to know.
Oh, I know about this.
We want to know who today's cover band is. Take a listen. not too bad.
I remember that debate, and I'm on the side that says they are horrible.
Are you?
Oh, man.
Yeah. I think it's a deserved reputation, yes. Or they're just so tepid, horrible.
The congressperson that's involved says that it's a clear divide between Democrats and Republicans who think they are good versus who think they are bad.
I
and he
think
says
you're
that
right.
Democrats are the ones that think they're bad, apparently. So maybe
yeah.
you're leaning a little left there.
I just bad is bad. I don't care who it is. I'm gonna. Yeah, you can't deny that. All right, so it's 855-839-1210. We got big tickets prize here. Jump on board. Hit us with the name of that band. That's what we're looking for. We'll get a winner, and you'll be off to the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. Coming up, more of your calls. Don't forget, too, Jeff Van Drew making a ton of news today. He's here at 2:30. Joe Barrow, I'll tell you who guarded his house. Remember, we have this international ring, it's believed. Our buddy Pat Malloy told us about them from Chile originally, burglarizing houses, getting into the country illegally. Wait until you hear who he put in charge of house sitting, and the house still was burglarized. Oh, man, bad quarterback decision. If this guy were in Philadelphia for what he did here, never would you end it. I don't care. He's a great quarterback, but my God, maybe not so good at. Dan, did you see who was guarding his house?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, okay, we'll tell you that in a minute here on Talk Radio 1210.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
This school year, get your child or grandchild the help they need to succeed. Special tutoring and custom instruction is available from METC, the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. Now's the time to call Kathy Ganna and help your child have an outstanding year. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Visit online at METC.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@METC.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200. That's 215-493-4200.
It's officially the merry season, and B101, Philly's official Christmas station, is your home for holiday music. Spinning the biggest and best festive tracks all day long, now through Christmas Day. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Get your holiday fix on the radio at 101.1 FM. Ask your smart speaker to play B101 Philly, or listen on the go with the free Odyssey app.
Hey, Mount Laurel. We know your favorite station is WPHT. Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT.
It's the Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
Boy, I'm on the wrong side a lot of these today. I say all these things are really bad that we've been getting answers, and people are saying, Ben Affleck, not so bad. And this band, let's hear the clue.
It is like the Ben Affleck of music, isn't it?
Yes, I would say so.
There's a lot of ZZ Top fans in the chat right now that are pretty angry at this cover, comparing it to that Taylor Swift Lose Yourself as maybe one of the worst ones we've ever played on Money Melody there, Dom.
Well, anything this band would do. I mean, they're the epitome of mediocre rather than even bad, I think. That's what I remember the debate. I don't care if the Democrats were on the side. Even Nancy Pelosi was on the Republicans were wrong on this. We'll play that for you. That debate, but let's go to Pat in Ridley. Pat, who's the band?
You know what? Since you said there was a Congress thing, the only thing I can think of was Twisted Sister.
No, that was over the lyrics, I believe.
Yeah.
At one point with the aptly named Tipper Gore. Let's go to Bill in the Northeast on Talk Radio 1210. Bill, what's the answer?
Yeah, Dom, is it Nickelback?
Yes. It is Nickelback, infamous. And, Bill, you're the winner. You're off to see some real entertainers. But here's a little bit of that debate that Dan has.
I wanted to change this. Out of 77,000, that's probably about the percent of people who think Nickelback is their favorite band in this country. It's pretty low. And I think if you look at it, Nickelback's your favorite band. I apologize to the gentleman.
Why would you criticize one of the greatest bands of the 90s?
Wow. All right. One more reason why there's a difference between Democrats and Republicans. Clearly, only four.
Yes.
Yeah. Do we know who the Republican was?
That was Rodney Davis, Republican out of Iowa there, saying
Okay.
that Nickelback's his favorite band versus Mark Pokin, a Democrat from Wisconsin.
All right. I'm
Yeah.
with the Democrat from Wisconsin on this
Uh-oh.
one. Yeah, that's a
Far left Tom Giordano.
That's right.
Next an endorsement for Tim Walz coming. Oh, that's Minnesota, right?
But let me tell you the dopiness of a great quarterback. This guy's playing as well this year. I think he's just on a team that's befuddled. Joe Burrow. We know that you're supposed to house sit your house because this international ring, it's believed, maybe somebody else, but more likely, they're targeting big-time NFL players. It's easy to know when they're going to be away. So Joe Burrow is going to outfox them, the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback. He places in charge of his home Olivia Ponton. She's an IMG model and an influencer. Oh, boy. So I'm going to put an influenced her to guard my house. Bro, we're going away. People know it's big event coming up. An influencer is going to be house sitting. Well, apparently she goes out. Then she calls 911 and says someone broke into my house. Apparently, they can't seem to figure out how to get the cops to respond. The mother does that. Somebody calls New York police. They're in Cincinnati.
What?
Yes. Well, just think of who you're putting in charge of this precious thing with your house. Now, not exactly Einstein's here.
No, I guess
or
not.
Elon Musk. Yeah. My God. It's,
what's the number for 911?
It would be interesting to ask who's, coming off this, a side question, who is it you would actually put so much trust in, almost your life or something like that, or your most precious thing?
Mike Ehrmantraut.
Yes, Mike Ehrmantraut. He's going to be there. The guy's going to get the Garrett if he comes in. But putting an influencer and her mom and a model, and apparently they went out shopping. They just broke the back window, took everything.
Yeah,
and
they
then
were waiting on that.
Yeah, and she was just fumbling to call 911, and somebody did call the New York police here. They're trying to sort that out. All right, big story today, though. We've been all over this. And Jeff Van Drew, guy that we love, what he's been able to do, wanted him to run for governor the last time he was on, will be with us momentarily. He was on Fox today saying from high sources, Iranian, he said first, / a bit Chinese are behind this, something about the mothership. He said we ought to shoot them down. I don't know what the counter. I'm going to ask him, well, what are they countering with why we would not shoot down these drones over Jersey? There was something about the electric magnetic pulse. I don't know how real that is. We heard that from people inside the Jersey meeting today. And you don't want that. You know that, what the damage that might cause to the grid and infrastructure, et cetera. But they're in highly sensitive areas. Some of these are pretty big. They're not home enthusiasts. We've kind of ruled that out. Dan had a theory. Are they people, because I saw the cell phone thing too, are they trying to track drivers and they're testing this technology out using these drones? Okay. Van Drew says something different. The bottom line in all this, though, is America is vulnerable here. We're not acting. The federal government is paralyzed, and they're not allowing anyone else to act to do anything about this. So we'll get to Jeff Van Drew coming up here. First, let me tell you about my friend and dentist, board-certified prosthodontist extraordinaire. That is Dr. Robert Bentz of the Bentz Dental Group in East Norriton. So many things that set Dr. Bentz apart, but a lot of the recent conversation, technology. Not just we used to talk about the 3D printer making your teeth, but the diagnostic part of this is so sensitive, so cutting edge. I don't think you're going to find it in most dentists, maybe not any dentist in the area. I mean, he's got it all here, in addition to his staff and his skill that I've told you about. This allows him, with his technology advantage, to diagnose very, very accurately, consistently. I told you somebody who other people had looked at, no problem. He saw something serious here. This is what you want. This is the dentistry that you get. Dr. Bentz and the team. It's the Bentz Dental Group, solutions for the most complex dental cases. Reach them at 610-272-6949. Get that initial appointment. The website, BentzDentalGroup.com. Say it with a smile, the Bentz Dental Group, 610-272-6949.
A strong storm system will bring periods of rain heavy at times through the day today. It'll be windy and warm with a high 65. For tonight, rain comes to an end during the evening, windy and turning colder with a low 35, and a mixture of sun and clouds on Thursday, windy and chilly with a high near 40.
Weather sponsored by Malvern Retreat House.
Weather sponsored by Malvern Retreat House, the nation's largest Catholic retreat house in Chester County, hosting men's and women's retreats, couples retreats, spiritual direction, recovery retreats, and more. Retreat from the noise and hear God's voice at malvernretreat.com.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos? Starting now, radio listeners get access to our best last-minute holiday deals from Legacy Box. Get your family's videotapes converted for just $9 and photos professionally scanned for as low as 7 cents each, which is 76% less than what other brands charge. As the world's largest digitizer, you know you can trust Legacy Box to digitize your entire collection of old media. Everything from the embarrassing haircut you had in the 90s to photos of your great-grandma's wedding. Visit legacybox.com/value to get 200 photos scanned starting at just $19.95. Oh, and don't forget, Legacy Box also digitizes over 15 other types of analog media. It's the most meaningful gift you can give this holiday season. Take advantage of this exclusive last-minute holiday offer from Legacy Box. Go to legacybox.com/value. That's legacybox.com/value.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
Virtua Health, real patients, real doctors, real complex cases. Take one.
Open heart surgery, tear in my aorta.
The most complex cases come to us at Virtua Health.
I'm sure I wouldn't have been here without you.
Being a 45-year-old, not being able to walk up one flight of stairs, I had no idea I was in heart failure.
Virtua is a premier heart failure center in South Jersey.
They changed my life. It's truly a blessing.
Want to follow our stories? Go to virtua.org. Virtua Health, here for good.
Honey, bags are packed and in the trunk. Is the car good to drive to Mother's holiday dinner?
Yes, dear. Car's good. We have Ox Car Care for their extended car service plan. Ox covers our repair bills if anything happens.
We have no worries if any problems come up on our holiday travels. Ox Car Care has our back.
And remember, Ox has flexible coverage plans that can protect issues with engine, transmission, brake systems, and so much more.
Yep, we don't pay. Ox pays. Ox gets it fixed for us. Joe at the auto shop says Ox Car Care pays them directly, and there's no complicated paperwork. Ox is A+ rated, with already millions of dollars paid out in claims.
Right, they handled our claim from start to finish, unlike those other companies. Good call. The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill this holiday. The only thing now is, which pie is Aunt Martha making?
Drive with absolute peace of mind this holiday season. Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-458-0279. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox today. 800-458-0279. 800-458-0279 or oxcarcare.com.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. Your boxes are wrapped and the gifts are in. Our employees are ready. Let the holiday ride begin. Let's start with the price. It's easy to manage when you ship with the reliable USPS Ground Advantage. In just a few days, it's sure to arrive. We're working nonstop to keep the spirit alive. USPS Ground Advantage, the affordable and reliable shipping solution for the holidays. Visit USPS.com/advantage.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, it is Dom time. Jeff Van Drew, very big in the news. Congressman Van Drew stating today on Fox, high sources told him that this was Iranian and mixed in Chinese, and he would shoot it down. Okay? I'm talking about the drones terrorizing people over New Jersey. So we'll go to him momentarily here. As you can imagine, he's right in the center of all kinds of things, and just another reason why he's one of our favorites, that he was bold enough to be the one to talk about this directly and try to put pressure on the federal government to do their job, which is to protect America. This is the first thing. We heard from Dawn Fantasia, the assemblywoman out there in Sussex County, who was in the meeting with some of these people, and they actually had not Homeland Security, I forget the terrorism thing, whatever, saying, well, they're not violating the law. They're not violating the law. Are you kidding me? What's going on here? Imagine hearing that. And these representatives, I have to say, are acting in a bipartisan way to put pressure. But the federal government is just saying, we're the federal government. We'll do whatever we want, whenever we want. Now, Jeff Van Drew may be here momentarily. I'm going to ask him about that. Let's go to Congressman Jeff Van Drew. Congressman, as always, you are in the front line of protecting us. Thank you very much for your service in this. What did you say today? We want to hear it from you exactly, that you're hearing about these drones.
So, Dom, I'm on the subcommittee for aviation and transportation, so deal with a lot of aviation issues, and I know a lot of people. And some individuals who have very high clearance, who are very reputable, stable, smart, individuals that are verifiable, don't want to give their name, they don't want to get in trouble with the government, they don't want to lose jobs, etc., their jobs, but have come to me and said for real that they are very concerned. And here's why they're concerned. In Iran, at the port, there is one of the motherships missing, drone mothership, where they can launch these drones from these ships. And they believe that they have traveled in the water relatively close to the East Coast, and they're out at sea. They also believe that they are the ones responsible, obviously, for the drones that they've launched, and that they're extracting information wherever they can. Now, here's what I say. I don't know for 100% that is accurate, but I know there's something wrong. So let's go through this, Tom, carefully. Number one, is it a government plan? Is this a government program? Are they flying drones? We don't even have this drone capability. By the way, we're 10 years behind China. I've been talking about this for a long time. Our radar has holes in it, so we can't pick everything up. We've been talking about this for years. These are the things we really should be doing in government and some of the nonsense we waste time with. We need to get this straightened out. So it's either the government doing experiments, which would be totally irresponsible and awful. But if that's true, then let us know that U.S. government is doing this. I don't believe that it is. I don't even believe that they would do that. So secondly, is it a commercial enterprise, some big company that has this type of drone capability within the United States? We know of none in the United States, and if they did, would they ever endanger their existence by scaring everybody this way as well as the government? So we find it hard to believe that that is the case as well. The next case was some backyard hobbyist? No, because none of the backyard hobbyists have anything close to this. Mm-hmm. They are not flying in restricted airspace. They are flying at night, which is allowed. They do have, currently, they shouldn't be. They have lights on them. They're very sophisticated drones, which lead you to the fact that is it somebody from another country, and could it be Iran? There's a real possibility it could. And you know what, Dom? I hope they prove me wrong. But here was the conundrum I had. These people came to me. They said, here's the issue. We just want you to know. You can't, and I'm sorry, I wish I could use their name and that everybody could verify that, but I will keep the bond that they made with me, not to say who they are. They don't want to lose their jobs. They came to me and they said, this is a real possibility. This is what Iran has, because they have been dealing and purchasing all of this equipment from China, and China is using them as a surrogate. And that we think that this is a real possibility. The Coast Guard has sighted drones out over the ocean. Where are they going?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you also said, and I'm in agreement with this, that we should shoot them down. We'd be better able, at least one, to then take a look at this, and we'd have a better chance at identifying what's happening.
Correct. We should take these down. First of all the airspace should be restricted now. Right now, until we get this settled, nobody should be flying drones. Secondly, other than the government or law enforcement at some level. Secondly, we need to take these out of the air. So we need to find out how to do it. I don't believe they have volatile liquids on them, but we need to ensure that they don't, because we don't want to create an explosion which can have an impact on the ground. But we've got to figure out how to take them down, study them, and find out where the heck this is coming from. Here's the deal. How dare the government say, well, this administration, we don't know where they're from, we don't know who they are, we don't know what they're about, but there's nothing to worry about. You know right. Nothing.
Yeah.
So, I liken it to this. It's like going to the doctor, Dom, and saying, I've got a horrific pain in my chest. I can't even stand straight. And the doctor look at you and say, well, I don't know what it is. I haven't run any tests. I don't know what it's about. But, I know that you're okay. Don't worry about it.
And also, we're told by the people at the state level, they're told they can't do anything about it. This is all just the federal government could shoot one of these down. And you represent people in Jersey, your constituents, and us. You stood up today on this, actually trying to move the ball forward on this. Jeff, have you heard there is some talk of electromagnetic pulse here and a fear of shooting them down around that? Have any of these people said anything to you about that?
Nobody has. They have not gone into that, and I haven't, quite frankly, spoken to them about actually taking them down. They relayed the information that it's a real possibility. They didn't say they were 100% sure, but a real possibility this is what it is. By the way, what this shows us, Dom, when we're 10 years behind China, when other countries are ahead of us, America, the greatest nation on the face of the earth, falling behind, now following, not leading, it makes us vulnerable. So we have to stop spending time on, and I don't mean to bring it into this, but I don't know how else to say it. We're spending, millions upon millions of dollars on sex change operations in the military instead of just making sure we're secure and safe for everyone, regardless of whomever you are. This is nonsense. We got to get focused again in this country. We have to be strong. So what I'm saying is, hey, this was presented to me by extremely reputable people who have great documentation on themselves. They are people that have high security clearance. They're concerned. If they're concerned, I'm concerned. And if I'm concerned, I'm not going to hide it. hide it. I want people to know. And now I want the officials to tell us the truth, what they do know, which is scary if they hit it, and even scarier if they're just so out of the loop and so dumb that we don't even know what it is. That's kind of concern, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. We're talking with Congressman Jeff Van Drew. This lack of transparency, I kind of see it as this is what federal government does under certain administrations. They're repressive to individual rights, yet they're not into the game of protection, and they get upset with someone like you and others spreading the alarm on this. Well, what do you think? Why there's such lack of transparency here to clear this up?
Yeah, and you know what, Dom? I'm going to tell the truth. I'm a United States congressman, and I don't know. That's the point. That's the problem. How can you say what it isn't when you don't know what it is? I mean, there's the deal. So, that's the concern. So I'm hoping that as time unfolds here, and this has been going on for a while. This started on November 18th with the first sightings. And, some people are citing just regular drones, backyard drones. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about these drones that are totally significantly different than anything we're used to. So we're going to find out. And, the Pentagon denies that there's any Iranian ship off the coast or anywhere in the vicinity. I hope they're right. I don't know. But then again, if we can say that it's not that, what it is, and I've been told by the same sources that the military is on alert for this. I don't know. We should share that information. I'm just telling you what I've been told. And by the way, this is not for, a couple goofy guys in their backyard who run drones that called Jeff Van Drew up and said, hey, this is really what we think's going on. It is not.
I hear you. I knew you wouldn't do that. I'll give you the silver lining, too, because you're in the scrum of the media, but maybe consider this the rest of the day. This is reminiscent of the debate over the missile gap with the Soviets way back when. I'm glad the upside is there's a drone gap here. Our knowledge, our ability, you mentioned it with the Chinese. We know about it, but we think, so what? We got a lot of other things going on here. No, the Trump administration coming in, this would be a way to go. This is something big.
It is. And I'm sure a new president will have his people immediately focus on this and find out what's going on and get us up to snuff, which is our job here.
Jeff, I got a quick question for you. Congressman, earlier to Harris Faulkner, you explained that there was record of a purchase that was made between Iran and China. I wonder if you could just rehash that for us real quick.
Sure, and I don't have a million details, but we know for a fact that Iran and China have been working together and that drone technology has been transferred to Iran from China. That we do know. So, again, that is of concern. And you know what? We wouldn't be concerned. I'm not saying to give away secrets. I'm not, tell what our important military secrets are or whatever, but to let us know what is happening. I really do believe the American public deserves that. I mean, again, the American public pays our salaries. So I don't want them to say where there's a secret military installation or our most secret technologies. Or, probably everybody around the world knows what they are already anyhow, the way the administration has been. But I do think they have a responsibility to tell people. So when people call their congressman up and say, what the hell is going on? I looked up in the sky and I saw something on the side of a Chevy Suburban flying in the air with flashing lights, that we all have some idea. We go to those in charge, the government, and they say they just don't know. They just don't know, but you're okay.
Yeah, exactly right.
What does that mean, Dom? What does that mean? We don't know what it is, but you're okay. How the hell do they know we're okay?
And again, this is the power of the federal government. This is what the last election was about. I'm linking this with the FBI director, thank God, resigning moments ago. This all comes together. I'm so glad you're the person, though, that they confided this in, and you are out there on this because urgency is needed. And people are not going to put up with this for much longer here without wanting drastic action. Dan?
I just got a news brief, too, that Jeff, you sent that letter to President Biden demanding immediate action.
Right.
So thank you for doing that, sir.
Yeah, well, we're going to keep it up. I mean, I got a responsibility, and it's to protect and serve just like anybody else. People put me in this position, and I'll say things that maybe are not easy to say, but when I believe something, I tell it. And I thought this was important enough that we have to have good, objective, truthful analysis of what's going on. Americans deserve that. Whatever it is, Americans can deal with it. We're strong. American people are strong. But tell them the damn truth, whatever it is. Just not,
Right.
We don't know what it is, but don't worry.
Yeah, it's very similar. 100 whales and dolphins wash up on the shores, but nothing to worry about here. We don't know what it is, but just keep them moving forward.
And real quick, I want to bring up, imagine we're worried about the holes in radar right now, and everybody will verify that of any note who knows anything about this. We have real problems and deficiencies with our radar and our airspace monitoring. It would even be much worse if we had the wind turbines, hundreds of them.
Exactly. Thank you, Congressman. I'm sure we'll talk, but thank you for coming on today, as always.
My pleasure. Take care.
All right. Great producing today. We've had on all the players here at every level, the state and federal. Your reaction to Jeff Van Drew, the lightning round, said a lot of interesting stuff there that I didn't see because we were on the air then, that a lot of this information came from people that are in the aviation knowledgeability here. And here, where's the urgency? What are the state people going to do to pressure the federal government to do something here, to be upfront? Again, not secretive stuff that we don't need to know about, but an answer toward where we are. And I'm watching Biden yesterday talking. Who's in charge here? No one exactly. That's what's happening. Get some ice cream. All right, lightning round next on Talk Radio 1210.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. Wherever I go, online security is a top priority for me. In my personal life, on the job, with the family. That's why I subscribe to Privacy Pro from DuckDuckGo. I do feel so secure and worry-free thanks to Privacy Pro's 3-in-1 subscription service. DuckDuckGo VPN, personal information removal, and identity theft restoration. So it helps protect your personal info from being exploited by those hackers, scammers, or privacy-invasive companies. I discovered DuckDuckGo years ago. It's an independent browser search engine, and millions use it. DuckDuckGo Privacy Pro provides me with a VPN, secure encrypted Wi-Fi connection, which I trust. I love that the DuckDuckGo VPN works on browsers and apps across mobile and desktop, up to 5 devices at once. Get a 30-day free trial at duckduckgo.com/1210. Then you pay $9.99 a month. Do this, duckduckgo.com/1210. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
First time seeing my son, I feel like my life did a 180. He really a definition of like why he loves somebody.
Through all of fatherhood's first, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain.
Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Free speech lives here with Don Stensland, 10 till noon on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
That's right. Dom's Lightning Round, sponsored by Cherry Hill Volvo. Right now, lease the all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. See store for details. They always go the extra mile for their customers because relationships matter at Cherry Hill Volvo. Just saw this on Fox, the Pentagon briefing, and their spokesperson said about a question of shooting down and threats and all that. Well, some of that's a decision for the locals. Really? All right, let's go to the Earl of Tacony. Earl, who do you have today?
Well, first off, I just wanted to say I'm rather disappointed. You asked me if I was going to endorse anybody on Monday, and I've come to the conclusion that not a single one of them is worth my endorsement. I mean, talk is cheap. I'm not. Not a single one has offered me a bribe.
All right.
Taking bribes now, Earl.
All right. Well, behind the scenes, you got that Gary of Newtown and Robert of Ben Salem conspiring at a breakfast meeting. Yes.
At Dom Show 1210, the vote's currently going on for 2024 Caller of the Year. You're listening to 2023's Caller of the Year. Earl of Tacony took himself out of the running. 9 minutes left at Dom Show 1210. Bruce in the Northeast, 54.5% over Drew in Upper Darby, 45.5%.
Narrowing.
Might be able to swing that vote if you get to at Dom Show 1210 if you think Drew should take it.
All right. Earl, who do you
And
have today?
Real quick before I get to my answer, you mentioned the Schuylkill Expressway. Philadelphia was supposed to have 3 subway systems. We have the Market Frankfurt line. We have the Broad Street line. There's supposed to be a Mount Airy Chestnut Hill line running up into that section of the city, but we never managed to develop it. So Philadelphia has a tendency to not develop, making ways to make transportation easier. In the
I'm
city.
okay with no more subways. SEPTA, more crime. That's all it is.
But my answer is going to be Arby's. I've never had an Arby's roast beef, I will be honest. But I did have a deep-fried turkey sandwich before Thanksgiving, and it was very good.
Yeah.
So I think they get a lot of abuse.
All right. Thank you, Earl, very much. To be continued. We'll see if you get bribed or not. Let's go to Leslie and Bryn Mawr. Leslie.
Aloha.
Aloha.
So I did track the balloon, the Chinese balloon from last year.
Yes.
And it went diagonally across the country, north to south. So they couldn't do another balloon, so they're using just the drones now to go in and map the part that they weren't able to get before.
Yeah, and I think the Iranian part, though, is a surrogate doing this stuff versus China. I think that's strong, and that's even more outrageous.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's crazy that they can't identify it. How are we so sophisticated, yet we have something within our eyesight and we're not able to see what it is or why aren't they following them?
All great questions. We're on it. The bigger question is, Leslie, why in the world do we have no pressure point? All these powerful congresspeople, all these people in Jersey, let's face it, at this point, they have no pressure on the federal government. They're being told, we'll do whatever the hell we want.
I don't understand it. It's very odd.
Exactly.
Very odd.
All right, what's the thing that's not as bad as people say?
The police.
Oh, that's a really good one, yeah.
Without them, where would we be? The police are awesome, and a lot of people are automatically in the space of, I don't like them.
Gotcha. Joe of Exton, waiting for whoever survives to get to his throne for Caller of the Year. Joe, who do you have today?
Yes, hello, Dom, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
John Fetterman burst on the scene as a flagrant eccentric, attending state Senate meetings dressed in shorts and a hoodie. And then, with the passage of time, he has begun to show himself to be a staunch conservative by showing his support for the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu.
Gotcha, Joe. I wouldn't go quite that far, but he's, He's better than I thought he would be, without a doubt. Yes. Henry, who did you like today?
Hands down, the best answer is Scott in Mount Laurels of Sam Hinkie, undermined by
That's
his own
not gonna
organization and league.
All right, and I know Dan's
Justice
going to
for
go
Hinkie.
with.
I'm
with
endorsing
go to
Hinkie as
Arby's.
well. I like Hinkie and I like Arby's. You had me. You had me, Dom. Yeah.
All right, we'll go under protest with Hinkie
Oh!
here, even though
Trust the process.
that's a horrible answer. I hope sorry, Scott, you don't win. That's a process. You got to lose, Scott. That way you'll have a better answer in the future. All right, Rich Cioli is next. We'll follow this again tomorrow. What will happen next? Good for Jeff Van Drew. Amazing stuff here. Rich Cioli Show next here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
I have a challenge for you. I want you to write down everything that you worry about, from your kids to your bills, from the economy to the election. It would